to mid-20s. Bye-bye.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
I'm Andrew Pearce. This is GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Five hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates,
5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5.
You got me. You got me good there. Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show.
It's not a bad brand.
Yeah. Uncensored.
Very, very racy tonight.
On the unpredictable.
What did she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace to
Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News.
the People's Channel?
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
Some people enjoy lazy Sunday mornings, but not me.
What's the truth of the matter?
So that's a very live question.
Would you support him if he waters down these plans?
Before the spin sets in, I'll be getting to the truth.
This is personal.
No soft questions, no easy answers.
It's one thing if the state has rules in this country. It's another thing whether the police and others actually police them.
Setting the agenda and holding those in power to account.
You can't really blame her if the system is set up this way. You will not want to miss it, trust me.
The Camilla Tominey Show, Sundays from 9:30, only on GB News.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk then?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. weekdays here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Breaking news, live updates, stories that matter.
From the heart of the GB newsroom to every corner of Britain, with our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
GB News bulletins are there to deliver the latest news that matters to you.
Bulletins on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
I'm Bev Turner. Thank you for joining us on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Good morning. President Trump delivers a stark warning to Britain's new Prime Minister over illegal migration.
Yes, Donald Trump tells GB News the crisis is killing Britain and claims Europe is facing an invasion.
He's going to have to mention it because it's killing your country. And they're invading Europe. I mean, they're invading Europe. It's an invasion. And the UK is a prime suspect.
I was in the Oval Office for GB News, and while our own Prime Minister avoids media scrutiny, President Trump was very clear. Andy Burnham needs to talk about migration.
But as Britain continues to pay billions to France to try to stop the crossings, why is this happening?
Our order is to let them go like that. Your order is to let them go? We just have to say to them, don't do that, it's dangerous.
So, should France be forced to pay Britain's illegal migrant bill? We'll be going head-to-head on that debate.
Elsewhere, a defence dividend. The Prime Minister announces an £8 billion investment in nuclear submarines. Is defence spending now the key to rebuilding our economy?
And Britain on alert. Officials warn all of Europe could be threatened by devastating wildfires. And now the UK is on heightened alert after a drought was declared across half of England. GB News reporter Will Godley is in the south of France for us.
We are now entering the evacuation zone on a road dubbed the Highway to Hell. GB News has been given special permission to broadcast inside this zone and witness the destruction these fires have caused.
The number of firms allowed to sponsor migrant workers has quadrupled in 5 years. We investigate whether the skilled visa system has gone too far.
In the last 5 years, 27 businesses on this one road in northwest London have arranged sponsorship certificates to bring in up to 84 migrants on skilled worker visas.
And a nation divided. Britain has recorded the biggest increase in anti-Semitic instance of any major Jewish community. But have recent Gaza protests fueled the rise? We'll be debating that story too.
The Duke of Sussex is back in the High Court today, not over privacy, but over a legal bill after losing his case against the publisher of the Daily Mail.
Ladies and gentlemen, George Michael!
He was the biggest pop star in the world.
Yeah, George Michael's estate is suing his former best friend for releasing never-before-seen footage from a lost album.
A very good morning. FIFA have opened disciplinary proceedings against Argentina over their behaviour after their World Cup final loss to Spain and throughout the tournament. And they've been branded the Argentina of cricket, but amateurs Saltburn have suspended the player at the centre of the Clickgate scandal.
A different feel out there today. Still very warm in the sunshine across the southeast, but not as hot as it was yesterday. Overall, a cloudier day, and yes, there will be some rain around. Will you see any? Well, join me later for a full forecast.
It's just gone 6 o'clock. I'm Stephen Dixon.
And I'm Dawn Neeson, and this is GB News Breakfast.
Well, we're going to start by telling you we've won another award. It's an interesting one, this one. GB News has won Best News Programme Award at the National Reality TV Awards. Have a look.
The National Reality TV Award for Best News Programme goes to GB News.
Well done. Growing and growing.
Oh, there you go. All of GB News, it would seem.
It's lovely. Who are we up against? Do we know?
I don't know. I can't find the list of nominees.
No, I was looking as well.
But whoever it was, we trounced them. So
exactly. No, congratulations to us. Well
yes,
done,
well
everybody.
done, Oz.
It's a big team behind there as well.
I think it was public voting, though, so it means it's all down to you.
Marvellous.
So thank you very much.
So much.
More,
indeed, yeah.
Hey, what? It counts for more when it's public voting.
Of course it does,
rather than just industry
well,
people
it really does, because otherwise it's all political and it's a bit...
Who cares what the rest of the industry thinks? It's what you think that matters.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you very much.
Right, let's start with the news that Donald Trump has issued a warning to the Prime Minister: confront the migrant crisis or watch it kill the country.
Speaking to GB News in the Oval Office, the President described the surge into Europe as an invasion.
And his message to the Prime Minister was unequivocal. He can't afford to stay silent.
You've had a couple of weeks to get to know our new Prime Minister. Have you spoken to him much? And do you think he is the man to lead us to excellency?
Well, he did say one very good thing. He said he's going to open up North Sea oil. If he does that, you're going to be a wealthy country. If he does it reasonably. They have two problems. They have a huge immigration problem, people coming from all over the world and just camping out in your country. He's going to have to mention it because it's killing your country. And they're coming from all over the world. They're coming from Africa. They're coming from South America. They're coming from different parts of Asia. And they're invading Europe. I mean, they're invading Europe. It's an invasion. And the UK is a prime suspect.
OK, those comments also follow over 700 migrants arriving on Britain's shores yesterday, and this revelation from the Shadow Home Secretary, Chris Philp.
Our order is to let them go like that. Your order is to let them go? We just have to say to them, don't do that, it's dangerous.
So, can the Prime Minister still really claim this?
The Home Secretary has brought forward a very rigorous plan. Boat crossings are down quite significantly year on year, so that does suggest that the plan is working.
And lots of you are getting in touch about this story already. Brad, as I said, France has a legal duty to protect their borders. Why not sue them? OK, fair point. Well, yeah, good luck with that one. Let's talk to former Downing Street advisor Oscar Redrup on this one. Oscar, meet the new boss, same as the old boss. We have a new Prime Minister, but we still have the problem with people crossing the Channel.
Yeah, exactly the same old age-old problems it feels like now. Trump's tendency to backseat drive, if you like. There's many ways you can handle that as a Prime Minister, but I think staying silent on issues that Trump clearly feels pretty passionate about from a global perspective as well as back home in the States from his perspective ain't going to work. It's just, it leaves a vacuum and Trump will happily fill it for you.
But the issue the Prime Minister's got is the issue that we haven't really got a plan yet.
No, and...
so what's he going to say without actually having... He's not going to want to say a lot until he's got a detailed plan to tackle it, is he?
I think under normal circumstances, people would kind of maybe over the summer in particular kind of sit back and go, OK, well, let's let him really get into his chair and let's really see, you know, wait till September, October when Parliament comes back and it all kind of kicks into play. Let's give Burnham some time. The problem is that with the best will in the world, different prime ministers we've had over the years, with all the planning and with all the time that they've had, we still haven't been able to solve this problem. So I think, particularly with Andy Burnham, he's shown and indicated in his first few weeks as Prime Minister what he wants to talk about. And the absence of any detail, or not even detail, I don't think people are necessarily expecting detail from him right now on the Channel crossings, but we don't even really have a particular idea as to what his general stance is on it. It's just a continuation, I think, the status quo of how we've been dealing with it, in inverted commas, dealing with it over the last few months.
But he's got to deal with what Chris Philp's uncovered, hasn't he?
Yeah.
When you've got French police on the shores saying, we've just got to let them go, which is the opposite of what we're paying them for.
But that, to me, was... really obvious from the start. You know, like, what, please someone explain to me, are we that naive as a nation to think that France are going to help us with this problem? I mean, kind of what's in it for them? Why would they?
Well, yeah.
It makes no sense. And in many ways, it's, you know, I know this isn't on Andy Burnham right now, but it was an abdication of responsibility on our behalf to kind of hand over so much responsibility to the French. It was almost throwing our hands up in the air saying, well, we can't deal with it. Can you help us out, please? Which I think a lot of people watching this would think is pretty pathetic, actually.
Andy Burnham would say he's kept Shaban Mahmood in place and her reforms are still going to go through. So he would say, well, this is the plan. It was the plan that we had before, and we are working on that.
Yeah, but I think that would be a less bad alternative to what maybe could have happened when we heard about rumours around who he was putting his cabinet together with. But it's clearly not a priority for Andy Burnham. I think that much we know. Because he's, you know, and whatever you think, I think he's very skillfully, in his first few weeks, communicated and laid out his priorities. And this is just completely missing from it. So if you're at home thinking, oh, I quite like Andy Burnham, yeah, like he's off to a good start, but illegal immigration and particularly the Channel crossings is something that I care deeply about and I'm really concerned about when it comes to the United Kingdom. I'm telling you now, Andy Burnham doesn't see it as a priority. And as a country, you know, we can come to terms with that. We can go, well, that's fine because the cost of living and this, that and the other. And actually, maybe that isn't a priority. That's not my job to tell you as a viewer, you know, but if it is a priority to you, this guy ain't going to solve it. Because whatever you think of even people like Keir Starmer, right? Keir Starmer, like, he as soon as he went into that job, he understood, I think, how it mattered to people. He understood it. He didn't solve it, of course not. And I think he made loads of errors, including the deal with the French. But you could see there was an emphasis on it. And Andy Burnham doesn't want to talk about it. So that, for me, would be of real genuine concern moving forward.
All right, Oscar, for now, thank you.
Thank you, Oscar. Indeed. And as always, please do let us know what you think. gbnews.com/your say, and you can even comment, as Malcolm has done, on Oscar's haircut as well.
He loves it, I bet.
Well, I bet he does. Look, more importantly, a Home Office spokesperson has responded to all of this and said, "We are aware of posts circulating online that claim French law enforcement are failing to prevent small boat channel crossings. UK-French cooperation has already stopped more than 46,000 attempted crossings since the election. In May alone, 65% of small boat events were stopped, which have historically led to, because they're saying the better temperatures have historically led to increased crossings."
OK, let's move on, shall we? Yeah.
The problem with that is it's not stopping them. It's not stopping them going back and trying again.
That's the problem.
So it's not much of a stop, really.
There's one. This is the front page on many of your newspapers today, but in particular The Sun, who have had a reporter on the beaches there, and they've interviewed somebody who's attempted the crossing 20 times.
Yeah,
So,
there you go.
they don't give up. OK, in other news, Andy Burnham will pledge to put defence at the heart of his plan to rebuild Britain, announcing over £8 billion in funding for the next phase of the country's nuclear submarine programme.
Well, the government claims the investment will help deliver 4 new Dreadnought-class submarines, supporting tens of thousands of British jobs, and contribute to 22,000 defence apprenticeships by 2035.
Speaking a little later, the Prime Minister will argue that national security can drive economic growth in every postcode.
Let's talk to the former chair of the Defence Select Committee, Tobias Ellwood. Good morning to you. Nice to see you. Look, I mean, just on that, the impact this sort of investment has. I mean, a lot of this will be done in Barrow-in-Furness, of course. I mean, a town which is desperate for investment. I mean, this sort of thing will make a significant difference to that sort of town.
Yes, good morning. And on the face of it, this looks like very good news. We're investing in our most potent line of defence, our nuclear deterrence. But this is money that was already earmarked, and it's come very late in the day, I should say. The old Trident system has been kept working decades after it's passed its sell-by date. Dreadnought, this is the new system that's coming in, should have been operational by now. It's not. Why was there a delay? Because there's been no money put into defence. And it's the absence of investment in the country's defence and security strategy that actually led to John Healey, if you remember, resigning, saying we've got to spend minimum 3% on GDP on defence by 2030. So much as this is looks like a great announcement, the reality is that Andy Burnham is now committed to spend 3.5% by 2035. This is the NATO target. I don't know about where you sit, but certainly from where I am looking at things, the world is going to be very different indeed by 2035. The types of warfare that are advancing, the threats that are already arriving on Britain's shores, we are leaving it far too late to actually upgrade our defence posture and build our resilience.
Tobias, curious, you said that the £8.4 billion was money that was already earmarked. So does that mean the money is there already just waiting to be spent, or does this money have to be found from somewhere?
Well, this is exactly the sort of questions we need to ask, because, as I say, this was a long-committed programme to make sure that we have CASD, our continuous at-sea nuclear deterrence. And so the government, of course, is going to make a lot of noise about this, saying this is massive investment. But ultimately, it was a programme that everybody agreed had to take place. Finally, we have an announcement. So that is good news, absolutely. And the people in Barrow will be absolutely delighted. But ultimately, you're then left with, where is the rest of the money going to come from? When you strip away the cost of our nuclear deterrence from our defence and security budget, we slide down to about 13th in the NATO league tables on spending on defence. And that is actually putting our country in harm's way. We are telling our adversaries that we're not investing in conventional capabilities, even though we might have a nuclear bomb. And that is not a wise way of making sure that Britain is strong, given the new era of insecurity that we've now entered.
OK, Tobias, we've got to leave it there, but we appreciate your time. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you.
OK, let's move on, shall we? The majority of England has been put on high alert for wildfires as a drought is declared across half of the country.
Meanwhile, in Europe, the EU's emergency chief has warned the devastating fires are currently blazing through France and Spain, but could engulf the whole continent within days.
Yes, GB News reporter Will Godley has this report from the south of France for us.
This is what's been called the highway to hell. We are now entering the evacuation zone, an area 4 times the size of Paris. More than 250,000 people have been evacuated from here because of these wildfires. We've been given special permission to film in here and enter the evacuation zone to witness the devastation that these fires have caused. Smoke is rising from inside this forest, and in a bid to stop these flames burning inside the woodland here, a huge number of firefighters working to stop these flames from spreading. Well, we're in Le Porge. Residents here were told to evacuate at 2 o'clock in the morning on Thursday last week, and thank goodness they did, because looking out the window we're seeing home after home destroyed in these wildfires. We've got out the car to bring you this destruction firsthand. It truly is horrific to see. All that's left of this one here is the kitchen appliances, a fridge, washing machine, a cooker and a sink. This wheelie bin has been melted and is now completely deformed, an indication really of just how hot the flames were. Back on the road, we've been speaking to some locals here, many of them telling us just how angry they are that flames have been able to take their homes and their village. They are the ones who have decided to stay to help firefighters in their fight. Others who evacuated don't know when they'll return and what they'll be coming back to.
Will Godley there. Now, at 18 minutes past 6, no further action will be taken against Green Party leader Zach Polanski after he shared an image showing a guillotine and the name Nigel. Reform UK had reported him to police, but officers say the threshold for a criminal offence has not been met.
And the body of a Scottish woman has been found inside a suitcase in an abandoned building in Athens. Greek authorities say the woman, believed to be in her 30s, was identified after Interpol examined fingerprint data.
Police chiefs are calling for fewer, bigger forces in what they say will be the biggest change to policing for a generation. The National Police Chiefs Council says the current structure is not financially viable and makes it harder to tackle organised crime.
And die-hard England supporters are threatening to boycott future World Cups after FIFA unveiled plans to sell stakes in a new company linked to its major tournaments. The backlash has intensified, with the FA saying it is deeply concerned by the proposals.
Now, hopefully you're enjoying the weather at the moment, but let's see what it's going to be like today where you are with Alex.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Morning, welcome to your latest weather update from the Met Office here on GB News. A cooler feel for many today. Still pretty warm across the southeast in the sunny spells. Fresh breeze and a fair few showers coming in across Scotland. Some showers also for Northern Ireland, especially across the northern half, and the odd shower for Northern England too. Quite a bit more cloud compared to yesterday across the Midlands, southwest England, South Wales. 1 or 2 light showers just drifting through, but nothing really useful for gardeners. And a bit more of that cloud just spilling into the southeast through the day, so it won't be as sunny here, won't be as hot either, but say. Still quite warm at 28 Celsius. Cooler conditions further north and certainly feeling pretty chilly with the rain across northern Scotland, which will actually be quite heavy at times here for Orkney, Caithness, Sutherland down into Aberdeenshire. Quite a wet afternoon. Elsewhere, the showers will move through across central and southern Scotland with a fairly brisk breeze, and there'll be some bright spells, particularly across the borders. Some sunny spells too for Northern Ireland. Just a few showers, mostly across the north, and some of those will feed into Cumbria as well. But much of England and Wales looking dry and sunny this afternoon, but a much cloudier afternoon, certainly compared to recent days across the southeast and East Anglia. Again, a little bit of light rain, but nothing for the gardeners that's of any use. And that'll tend to clear away slowly overnight. We'll keep some showers coming into the north and the west. A much fresher night, much cooler night, much more comfortable night. Temperatures across northern parts down into single figures, well down in some rural spots. So a much cooler, fresher start to Friday. Another fine and sunny day by and large. Could start quite cloudy across Kent in particular. The clouds should break up here. There'll be some showers coming in across northwest England, again the north of Northern Ireland and western Scotland. But elsewhere, most places dry, plenty of sunshine across the south. But instead of temperatures in the mid-30s, temperatures more likely to be back in the mid-20s. So it is turning cooler.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Yeah, it's still to come. As it's revealed, French police officers are told not to intervene when migrants try to cross the channel. Is it time for France to foot the bill rather than you, the taxpayer? But first...
The number of firms allowed to sponsor migrant workers has quadrupled in 5 years. We'll bring you an exclusive investigation next.
Here at GB News, we made a promise to tell your stories. And on the 6th of August, we're marking 5 years of doing exactly that.
Celebrate with us by having your say. Join in the debates live on TV and radio.
And meeting your favourite presenters across the country, from Leeds to Aberdeen, from Belfast to Barry Island.
Plus, join me in Essex for our biggest live show of the year. Scan the QR code or visit gbnews.com/celebrate. Terms and conditions apply.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Some people enjoy lazy Sunday mornings, but not me.
What's the truth of the matter?
So that's a very live question.
Would you support him if he waters down these plans?
Before the spin sets in, I'll be getting to the truth.
This is personal.
No soft questions, no easy answers.
It's one thing if the state has rules in this country. It's another thing whether the police and others actually police them.
Setting the agenda and holding those in power to account.
You can't really blame her if the system is set up this way.
You will not want to miss it, trust me. The Camilla Tominey Show, Sundays from 9:30, only on GB News.
Right, 5 years ago, 31,000 businesses in Britain were allowed to sponsor migrants to come here under skilled worker visas, and that number has quadrupled. It's now 123,000.
Yeah, GB News can reveal that one street in northwest London has 27 businesses that has prepared to hire foreign workers, but not all the jobs appear to be what we'd call highly skilled.
Well, our national reporter, Charlie Peters, has this report.
Welcome to Northolt Road in Harrow. This is Britain's Visa Street. In the last 5 years, 27 businesses on this one road in northwest London have arranged sponsorship certificates to bring in up to 84 migrants on skilled worker visas. One of these businesses, Sam's Chicken, arranged to bring in at least 12 migrants on skilled worker visas over a 4-year period.
They're all registered to this address operated by this franchisee at this branch. Let's pay them a visit.
The manager, herself a migrant worker, confirmed they had arranged 12 visas.
Why aren't you trying to hire local people or British people for these jobs?
We have the local people as well.
As well. But you've also hired foreigners to work at a chicken shop on skilled worker visas. People might be wondering, is it skilled work working at a chicken shop?
I think the local people don't want to work in chicken shops. I think so. That's why.
Do you think that the immigration system is fair for British people here trying to find work? Are you happy that they're giving skilled visas away to chicken shops?
Yeah, so far we are happy with that.
Well, skilled worker visas don't just mean you can bring in a worker, it can also mean you can bring in your whole family as well. On this one stretch of the Northolt Road in Harrow, that could mean up to 350 migrants coming into Britain.
Since June 2024, to get a skilled worker visa, the job you're coming to do needs to pay you at least £41,700 a year, with a few exceptions. But most of the businesses on this road, corner shops, hairdressers, massage parlours, arranged their visas before the changes. Another business on the road, a supermarket, does not hire any Brits, but it has arranged 2 skilled worker visas. The owner told us he hired more Nepalese people because he wanted to bring more of them to Britain.
Why don't you hire British people?
We want to bring the people, you know, the people they want to come to UK, England, they want to settle here. It's a dreamland, yeah. That's why. So they are dreaming for the UK, yeah.
Here's the official Home Office list of occupations which qualify for skilled worker visas. Sales and retail assistants, retail cashiers and checkout operators, hairdressers and barbers, beauticians and related occupations, nail technicians, dry cleaners. These jobs are all ineligible. Takeaway managers and proprietors are listed as medium skilled, but they're not eligible for skilled worker visas because there's no shortage of British citizens to do the work. We don't accuse these businesses of breaking the law. They are doing what is permitted under the rules, and many of them brought in workers before the salary threshold was raised. But experts warn that oversight can be relaxed.
When these businesses are awarding certificates of sponsorship, they put a salary on there. That doesn't necessarily mean that is the amount being paid, and in many instances, particularly in certain sectors such as retail and restaurants, what you do see in many cases is that individuals are being paid far lower than what the Home Office was told they would be paid.
The Home Office says it is cracking down on this, revoking 3,299 sponsor licences in 2025, compared with just 347 in 2023, an increase of 950%. The department also says it's tackling the explosion in skilled worker visas. The number of those visas issued is down 1/3 on last year. But last year, the government still gave out 111,000 of these visas. It also renewed a further 700,000 work visas granted under the old, more relaxed rules. Many of them to work in businesses like these, where the jobs don't always seem skilled at all. The number of companies allowed to sponsor skilled worker visas is rising again. Last month, it jumped by more than 500. Whatever the government may hope, Visa Street is still very much open to traffic. Charlie Peters, GB News, Harrow.
It's a very easy way to reduce the migration levels, isn't it? It's something over which you have direct control. Just don't grant the visas, therefore you're going to cut the number of people coming in.
It would appear to make sense. I mean, the one thing I think we're lacking in so many areas of life at the moment is common sense. It's like if just someone could apply some good old-fashioned common sense to everything, that'd be. But lots of you are very annoyed about that one. Tara says, if you can earn £41,000 in a chicken shop, I'm in the wrong job. I might agree with you, Tara.
Well, yeah, I mean, as Charlie was saying, though, probably not. They're saying that, but they won't actually get paid that.
No, of course they won't. But
I hope you don't get paid that for working in a chicken shop.
Skilled work. Well, I don't know. Have you applied recently?
No.
No. Funny enough.
No.
I think we might.
Might try.
Yeah, after the show.
Right, it's 31 minutes past 6. Here's your traffic and travel update.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The A1M between junctions 3 and 4 is closed. The A12 northbound is closed between junctions 19 and 21. The M40 is closed between junctions 12 and 11 near Banbury. The A14 is closed between junctions 38 and 40. The M4 eastbound at junction 11 in Reading has an obstruction. In Scotland, the A90 at Finnavon is restricted in both directions with a contraflow due to planned roadworks causing delays. And on the trains, East Midlands Railway has a reduced service and Great Northern services are disrupted between Alexandra Palace and Stevenage via Hertford North. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Right, Aidan's got the sport heading your way in just a moment.
Yes, indeed. If losing the World Cup wasn't bad enough, Argentina could find themselves in the dock with FIFA for some of their conduct at the tournament. Find out why after this break.
I've been in Westminster for a long time, but I know that though power may be here, its effect on people's lives is across the whole of the country. We may be where rules are made, but it's where they're implemented that matters. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for forthright and frank discussion on where Britain has come from, where it's going, and where it will end up. That's State of the Nation, Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Vox Populi, Vox Dei.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
no,
isn't it?
Because
the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back,
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
and we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Welcome to Free Speech Nation with me, Josh Howard. This is the show where each week we see what's happening in the world of culture, current affairs and politics.
First we'll say, welcome to the UK. Oh, thank you.
And we're not afraid to use our free speech so that you can use yours.
It's not controversial in the slightest to anyone who hasn't lost their mind.
Free Speech Nation, Sunday nights at 7 p.m. only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
As soon as it hits 11 and the headlines come in,
the Late Edition brings you the breaking news from all the front pages.
because the news is going to happen.
So get a head start today.
Patrick Christie's tonight, Late Edition.
Alex Armstrong tonight, Late Edition. From 11 o'clock every night.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain is not just a geographical expression. We are a people bound together by history and culture that are distinctively British. Join me to celebrate our music, theatre, artworks and literature which we can explore and enjoy together.
Everybody's welcome.
Sunday with Michael Portillo. Every Sunday at 11 a.m. on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Do you trust what you're being told? Good, because
Because neither do I.
Those are just facts.
I'm Alex Armstrong, and on my show, we'll expose the spin.
Well, I want to answer that because you didn't let me last time, because you always speak over me.
The broken promises.
To deny that is denying the truth.
And the hypocrisy.
Needs to stop. You think we can allow?
Politics, policy, parliament. Nothing is off limits. No sugarcoating, no fear of offence, just the truth laid bare. Tune in every Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. for Alex Armstrong Tonight, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Hello, welcome back. It's time to go through all the latest sports with Aidan McGee. Aidan.
Good to see you both.
Hello.
Can I start with Argentina?
Yes.
Because they're in trouble.
Good.
And we can see why. We can see.
Good.
We can see why. I mean, they were
Good.
up to every trick in the book in that last World Cup. Even before a ball was kicked, the conspirators were out in force, weren't they? Going back to the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, where it's often been believed that without substantiation, it has to be said, but it was always fancied that the referees gave them a bit of an easy ride going through to the final. Messi was their golden boy. They wanted him to get to the final. It was also tied in with his relationship with Qatar. And in America, of course, he's key to that Miami franchise, which is owned by David Beckham as well. I'm not so keen on that, but you have to mark the fact that it is part of the conversation. What's more important for me, from a football point of view, is that their conduct throughout the tournament, particularly as the tournament got to the latter stages, against England, for example. I mean, at the end of it, when they got out, they unfurled the banner, didn't they? The Falklands are Argentine, reprising an old debate from the early 80s, 1982, which comes up every now and again. And they antagonised England fans. They celebrated with their own supporters, and you can see on the pictures there, Las Malvinas son Argentino or Argentina. I'm not sure what it says. It's being covered up by the graphic. However, they're in trouble for that because you cannot, under FIFA laws, breach. It's a breach, including using a sporting event for demonstrations of a non-sporting nature, which this falls into that category.
Yeah, what's happened to him?
Pardon?
What's happened to him?
Well, no, there'll be an investigation. That's the point. They're opening an investigation, FIFA, so we'll know hopefully in the next few.
How do you need an investigation into that?
Well, you still
need. What do you have to investigate? Did you do it? Clearly, yes.
Yeah. Well, it'll be an open and shut case. You would think, but there's more to it than that. I mean, their conduct after the England game, just with our players, and also after Spain. I mean, I know they lost the game.
Spain, when they turned their back on Spain, I thought that was the worst. One of the worst things I've seen for a long time.
But there was pushing and shoving. There was spitefulness. There was anger. Look, I get it that you just lost a massive game. For some of those players, it'll be their last appearance in the World Cup. It's the biggest game in football.
Grow up.
Yes.
So childish.
Show a bit of maturity, you think, yeah? Mm-hmm. Yeah, OK, I can see what you're saying. But on to the next story. Also, this cricket team in North Yorkshire has been branded the Argentina of cricket. Have you heard about this Clickgate scandal?
No. Tell us more.
I'll tell you about it. There's a viral video which has been doing the rounds in the last few days where we can see the video there. Now, this chap standing behind the wicket, he's clicking his fingers in time with when the ball, which is being delivered, might hit the wickets. So he's feigning the sound to make the umpire think that the bat has made connection with the ball, which has then been caught, and then the batsman or the batter is out. And that's even though the ball's not actually hitting the bat. He's feigning it to make it to kid the umpire into thinking the batter has got to go. Now, to me, it's just a bit of gamesmanship, isn't it, on a Sunday afternoon, a village cricket match. But as I say, it's gone all over the world, this. I got messages yesterday from people who don't normally contact me saying, oh, what do you think about this? I didn't like your take on GB News yesterday, where you think you've just got to put up with the fact that sometimes people cheat a little bit, it's gamesmanship. And that's why they've been branded the Argentina of cricket, because they're pushing the envelope, they're pushing the boundaries as far as they can go. Saltburn for their part, have actually decided to suspend this chap on account of his cheating. And again, more and more traction has been gained online because of it. And this is just it's a very small game, it has to be said.
Who is it? Saltburn?
Saltburn, yeah. Saltburn.
Saltburn second 11?
Yeah, second 11.
I mean, who are they?
North Yorkshire.
Right, OK.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. I think it's quite performative in a way. They've had to kind of do something, haven't they, to try and look as if they're dealing with the problem. But it's more of a laugh than anything else. I mean, I do think that it sets a bad example to young kids cheating. But you have to admire the ingenuity, don't you? Who would think of that? Just timing a click of your fingers to coincide with the ball hitting the bat and then kidding the umpire into thinking you're out. I think it's great. How long would it take to come up with that?
That's cheating.
It is cheating. I know it's cheating,
sorry.
but come on, it's not really big cheating, is it?
Could be worse. Thought you were going to talk about the film.
Oh yeah, cool. Do you not like that?
Oh no, it was a great film.
It won lots of awards, didn't it?
It did. It was a fantastic film, but it was saucy. Let's put it that way.
Oh, was it?
Oh yeah.
My best go.
I've got a feel-good story for you next hour.
Excellent.
Look good, we need it.
Yeah.
All right, Aidan, thanks very much
Thanks,
indeed. We'll take you through the papers in a couple of minutes with Will Kingston and Norman Baker. There they are. Morning, gents.
Morning.
So, here's a European forecast.
Ready to soak up that holiday sunshine?
Won't we need some cover?
No worries. All sorted.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations forecast.
Things remain very hot across Italy and parts of southern Spain. 1 or 2 showers in northern Spain and across the south of France. Plenty of sunshine for Greece and Turkey. Hot in Croatia as well as Italy. 40 degrees in Rome. 1 or 2 showers possible in southern France. More likely to see thunderstorms over more central parts of France. The odd shower over northern Spain too, but most of Spain and Portugal dry and sunny. Pretty hot in the Canaries as well. Plenty more sunshine throughout the weekend also.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations forecast.
GB News Breakfast. Every day from 6 a.m.
Should James Bond stay white and male?
Yes, I think that's probably the best course of action. If you think about it, Amazon have taken over Bond about a year ago, and they're a big company, aren't they? And this is a risk, isn't it? They don't want to be seen to cast their first James Bond in anything other than the most popular Bond to everybody. So if you're a casting director, like Debbie McWilliams has said, the previous one, I suppose it'd be who would be the most popular? What's the safest thing to do? So I think, in other iterations, there's nothing to say it couldn't be anything other than white, but this is the first one back, so I think it would be the safe thing to do. And it has to be a man. That's non-negotiable. I think audiences would instantly be complaining, and they want as little controversy going into this new film as they can.
The People's Channel. Martin Daubney. Weekdays from 3 p.m.
With the football, a row has erupted. A racism row again, this time at a Kent secondary school after pupils' children were allegedly told to scrub painted England flags from their arms because, you've guessed it, they were deemed as racist. Is this the woke flag monitors simply spoiling everybody's fun?
No, look, if we are going to police flags, that's clearly a problem. I think there are lots of people who feel negatively towards the England flag because of what it's represented in the past, and that's a real shame. But it's nice to see that new generations, I'm the son of immigrants, and I don't feel that. I haven't inherited that, and that's really positive. Look, so we should be able to, especially during a football match, fly that flag with pride and enjoy it.
I know that part of the world a little bit. I travelled to Broadstairs, Thanet, Sandwich. You see the Union flag, and particularly the England flag, everywhere. Yes. Even under normal circumstances, you see the England flag being proudly flown. So this is completely insane.
The People's Channel. This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
There was a Ryanair flight from Thessaloniki in Greece, and a part of the plane hit the window and pulled it out. And so this man, a 61-year-old Serbian man, was sucked out of the window. And his wife, she says that she was desperately holding onto his legs to keep him inside the plane for 5 minutes. Wow. It was horrendous. Apparently the aircraft did eventually land normally and passengers were safe and a replacement airline was sent. He was taken to hospital with friction burns. It was a part of the propeller had come loose from the engine and it had hit the window, and that's what had taken the window out. So it wasn't as though it was thought to be loose in the first place. But can you imagine?
No.
I mean,
I don't want to.
Unbelievable.
I'm
not a good flyer, I have to admit. This terrifies me.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Right, we're going through the papers with GB News contributor Will Kingston and former Lib Dem Minister Norman Baker. Good morning, both.
Morning.
Morning.
Will, let's start with the Telegraph, should we? And this Chris Philp video where French police officers seem to be just allowing people to get on boats and attempt to cross the channel?
Well, surprise, surprise, Stephen. Look, I was on Patrick Christie's show the other night. I suggested that England should just declare war on France to solve this issue. But as breakfast TV, I think I should moderate my approach a tad. The fact of the matter is, it doesn't matter how much money that we throw at the French to solve this problem. It will always be in their interest for illegal migrants to cross the channel and come to England. Why would they want these people in their own country when it can be England's problem? As a result of that, we need to recognise that the only way to solve this is by removing the incentives in this country to come. And unfortunately, at the moment, the government doesn't appear set on doing that.
Norman?
Well, it's perfectly true that the French have no reason to keep people there when they can offload them somewhere else.
Well, we're paying them to not do that?
Well, I mean, perhaps we shouldn't be paying them in that way because they're not being effective in terms of what we want them to do. So, I mean, it's not surprising. It's human nature. They don't want them in their own country, so they're very happy to see them offloaded somewhere else. I mean, that's just the way it is. I'm not quite sure what the answer is. If you look at who's coming, predominantly a very large proportion are from war-torn areas or areas of completely dysfunctional countries like Iran now, which of course has got worse, or Eritrea or Afghanistan. So, you know, in a way, some of these problems have been created by international problems.
Well, yeah, and that's a valid point. Except it begs the question: why are they all heading to the UK, or a large proportion of them heading to the UK when they're crossing through Europe and numerous safe countries?
Well, indeed, and there's an issue about that. And of course, when we were part of the Dublin Agreement as part of the EU, we were able to send them back. If they'd been refused permission to stay in one of the European countries, we could send them back automatically. Now, of course, they wipe the slate clean, and once they come out of the European Union, then we have to assess them freshly in a way they wouldn't have done before. And that's part of the problem we've got.
I'm not convinced it is an entirely valid point. Being part of a dysfunctional country is not grounds for asylum. Unfortunately, the world is, a nasty place in many parts. It's a bad place, but that isn't the problems of this country. And the fact of the matter is, if you look at Eritrea, for example, there's no civil war going on at the moment. Of course, the standard of living is considerably lower than its country, but that is not grounds for asylum. And yet, at the same time, we have thousands and thousands of people from that country who are deemed fit to arrive here. We need to make the point that, unfortunately, the UK can't solve the world's problems, and we need to solve problems closer to home.
All right. Norman, in the Eye this morning, Zach Polanski and this post he collaborated on, he's not going to face any police action.
No, well, I mean, look, it was a stupid thing to do, wasn't it? I mean, he put this joke out. He says he didn't realise what he was doing because it was one of 20 images, I think, at the same time. But, it was crass, to be honest. That's the word I would use. And he ought to apologise for it. He's not apologising for it.
No, that's the thing. I mean, criminal action, you can see how it doesn't reach the threshold. I can see that. However, an apology...
An apology would have just dealt with the matter there and then. I mean, look, it's in Nigel Farage's interest to keep the thing going because he wants to distract from all the investigations onto his finance, so he's got a reason to keep it going. But Zach Polanski could have killed the story stone dead by just saying, look, I made a mistake, it was crass, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. And that would have ended it.
There is another reason, of course, for him to keep it going, and I won't go into specifics, but a very high-profile politician was murdered in this country 3 weeks ago in an act of political violence. Now, I think we can be blasé about this and say, well, it may have been a joke, it may have been in poor taste. But the interesting thing is we never really say, well, it was just poor taste, it was just a joke, if the political ideology is the other side of the spectrum. And I think it is that, dare I say, two-tier nature of this particular application of the law, which is what infuriates people. No one for a second believes that if this was a far-right protester, it would be treated in the same way. I haven't heard whether or not this particular person, forget Polanski, but the person wearing the T-shirt has actually been even contacted. But do we genuinely think that if the shoe was on the other foot, he would get off scot-free?
I don't know. We should say on the Anne Widdecombe case, we don't know it was politically motivated. They're still investigating, obviously, and looking at motives on that. So
what I would say,
be careful.
What I would say, Stephen, is that the language the politicians use across the spectrum, right and left, has got much cruder since I was in Parliament.
Yeah.
When I was there in 2015, you wouldn't have had this language, this extreme language. And if politicians use extreme language, it's not surprising when members of the public then repeat it.
Yeah.
No, indeed.
That's
Rhetoric
fair point.
needs to be dialed down. Norman, Norman, let's go to the Sun. Government czar, even I'd get benefits. What's this one?
Well, I'm going to sound a bit right-wing here, I think.
Excellent, Norman, go for it.
I could try being a lefty if we wanted to do the role reverse.
But, I mean, I have to say that the benefits bill is out of control in this country. It really is. And look, if you look at the government expenditure we've got, there are three main areas of expenditure. There's the NHS, there's debt repayments and dealing with that, and there's benefits. And everything else is minuscule compared to those three things. I mean, you can cut the Foreign Office as much as you want. It makes no difference to anything. But benefits does. And you've now got a situation where you've got 17 million people, according to the Sun, who are classified as disabled. That's not
It's 1 in 4. It's 1 in 4.
It's impossible to believe that's accurate. And I know from my own time in government, when I was looking at the Blue Badge scheme, that was something I looked at when I was a Transport Minister, and I sorted that out to some extent. I noticed the latest figures. In the last 3 or 4 years, the number of people getting Blue Badges has doubled. Well, you know, we haven't suddenly got an epidemic of people becoming disabled. So how has that happened? And the other thing about that is that if you look at the Blue Badges, those people who are genuinely disabled and can't get around can't get a parking space now because someone else has got their parking space.
This is Baroness Louise Casey, isn't it?
This is Louise Casey, yeah.
Yeah, she's saying even I'd qualify for benefits. I mean, well, it is true, isn't it? I mean, my mum genuinely needs a Blue Badge. She's in her mid-80s. She's limited mobility now. And because literally everybody's got a Blue Badge, she, as Norman says, can't get a parking space.
Yeah. I can play the role of trying to offer some balance here if Norman won't. And at least Andy Burnham has recognised that this is a problem. He's recognised that we do need to get more young people, particularly, into work and off benefits. But you're right. I think the fundamental problem is that we have medicalised having personality problems. We've medicalised having a difficult week or a difficult time. And the reality is that we need to actually remember that you need a degree of resilience to deal with some of these things as opposed to sitting on the couch and getting government money. Unfortunately, until we do that, then we're going to have an exploding benefits bill which is going to cripple the country.
How do we tackle that, Norman? Because the problem you've got is these are people who are now claiming benefits, 6.9 million.
Yeah.
And removing benefits from people is problematic. It's problematic.
It's very problematic, but it needs to happen. How else can you do it? Because you can't solve it unless you reduce the number of people claiming benefits. I have to say that's going to be a very tough challenge for Andy Burnham. He's right to identify, as Will says, but I mean, he's got backbenchers who will not want to go down that particular road. And of course, all you got to do is disqualify one of the people who shouldn't be disqualified, and you've got case studies all over the paper of people who shouldn't have been disqualified. It's a very tough thing. What I say about Andy Burnham is...
I can't let you, Norman, because we're out of time.
All right, we'll come back to that.
Keep it for next time.
All right, you two, thank you very much indeed. We'll see you later.
OK, now it is time at 8 minutes to 7 already for the Great British Giveaway and your chance to win that £60,000 in tax-free cash and a real gold bar worth over £5,000. Here's the details for you.
We're celebrating a golden summer with a terrific two-part Great British Giveaway. First, you could win a sensational £60,000 in tax-free cash to spend however you like this year. What would you do with that? And that's not all, as you'll also win our most precious prize to date, a fine gold bar worth over £5,000. It's pure gold to own, trade or gift to a loved one and secure their financial future. So make sure you don't miss your chance to bank over £65,000 worth of prizes in our Golden Summer celebration. For a chance to win £60,000 in tax-free cash and a real gold bar, text GOLD to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entry starts at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge, or post your name and number to GB22 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrants must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 21st of August. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pooled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Good luck indeed. OK, still to come, Britain's new Defence Secretary, Wes Streeting, will join us a little later. Do the Prime Minister's new defence plans deliver the security and growth the government claims?
Yes, it's an interesting one. £8.4 billion. We'll talk to him later. First, so let's have a look at the weather with Alex.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Morning, welcome to your latest weather update from the Met Office. Here on GB News, a cooler feel for many today. Still pretty warm across the southeast in the sunny spells. Fresh breeze and a fair few showers coming in across Scotland. Some showers also for Northern Ireland, especially across the northern half, and the odd shower for Northern England too. Quite a bit more cloud compared to yesterday across the Midlands, southwest England, South Wales. One or two light showers just drifting through, but nothing really useful for gardeners. And a bit more of that cloud just spilling into the southeast through the day, so it won't be as sunny here, won't be as hot either, but still quite warm at 28 Celsius. Cooler conditions further north, and certainly feeling pretty chilly with the rain across northern Scotland, which will actually be quite heavy at times here for Orkney, Caithness, Sutherland down into Aberdeenshire. Quite a wet afternoon. Elsewhere, the showers will move through across central and southern Scotland with a fairly brisk breeze, and there'll be some bright spells, particularly across the borders. Some sunny spells too for Northern Ireland. Just a few showers, mostly across the north, and some of those will feed into Cumbria as well. But much of England and Wales looking dry and sunny this afternoon, but a much cloudier afternoon, certainly compared to recent days across the southeast and East Anglia. Again, a little bit of light rain, but nothing for the gardeners that's of any use. And that'll tend to clear away slowly overnight. We'll keep some showers coming into the north and the west. A much fresher night, much cooler night, much more comfortable night. Temperatures across northern parts down into single figures, well down in some rural spots. So a much cooler, fresher start to Friday. Another fine and sunny day by and large. Could start quite cloudy across Kent in particular. The clouds should break up here. There'll be some showers coming in across northwest England, again the north of Northern Ireland and western Scotland. But elsewhere, most places dry, plenty of sunshine across the south. But instead of temperatures in the mid-30s, temperatures more likely to be back in the mid-20s. So it is turning cooler.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Thank you, Britain, for making GB News Radio such a huge success. Whether you're in the car, on the go or listening at home, thank you for choosing us as your radio station.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The A1 between junctions 3 and 4 is closed. The A12 northbound is closed between junctions 19 and 21. There is a collision on the M25 anti-clockwise between junctions 21 and 20 near Kings Langley. The A11 is closed after the A134 near Thetford. In Scotland, the A83 is restricted in both directions at Locknell Street in Lochgilphead due to emergency roadworks. And on the trains, East Midlands Railway has a reduced service and Great Northern disruption is affecting routes between Alexandra Palace and Stevenage via Hertford North. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
We're celebrating a golden summer with a terrific two-part Great British giveaway. First, you could win a sensational £60,000 in tax-free cash. And that's not all, as you'll also win our most precious prize to date, a fine gold bar worth over £5,000. For a chance to win, text GOLD to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entry start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB22 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 21st of August. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pulled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Britain is not just a geographical expression. We are a people bound together by history and culture that are distinctively British. Join me to celebrate our music, theatre, artworks and literature which we can explore and enjoy together.
Everybody's welcome.
Sunday with Michael Costello. Every Sunday at 11 a.m. on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Good morning. President Trump delivers a stark warning to Britain's Prime Minister over illegal migration.
Donald Trump tells GB News the crisis is killing Britain and claims Europe is facing an invasion.
He's going to have to mention it because it's killing your country. And they're invading Europe. I mean, they're invading Europe. It's an invasion. And the UK is a prime suspect.
I was in the Oval Office for GB News, and while our own Prime Minister avoids media scrutiny, President Trump was very clear. Andy Burnham needs to talk about migration.
But as Britain continues to pay hundreds of millions to France to try to stop the crossings, why is this happening?
Our order is to let them go like that.
Your order is to let them go?
We just have to say to them, don't do that, it's dangerous.
So, should France be forced to pay Britain's illegal migrant bill? We'll be going head-to-head on that debate.
Elsewhere, the Prime Minister announces an £8 billion investment in nuclear submarines. Is defence spending now the key to rebuilding Britain's economy?
Yes, meanwhile, Britain is on alert. Officials warn all of Europe could be threatened by devastating wildfires. And now the UK is on heightened alert after a drought was declared across half of England. GB News reporter Will Godley is in the south of France for us.
We are now entering the evacuation zone on a road dubbed the Highway to Hell. GB News has been given special permission to broadcast inside this zone and witness the destruction these fires have caused.
Ladies and gentlemen, George Michael!
He's the biggest pop star in the world.
George Michael's estate suing his former best friend for releasing never-before-seen footage from a lost album.
FIFA have opened disciplinary proceedings against Argentina over their behaviour after their World Cup final loss to Spain and throughout the tournament. And they've been branded the Argentina of cricket, but amateurs Saltburn have suspended the player at the centre of the Clickgate scandal.
A different feel out there today. Still very warm in the sunshine across the southeast, but not as hot as it was yesterday. Overall, a cloudier day, and yes, there will be some rain around. Will you see any? Well, join me later for a full forecast.
It's just gone 7 o'clock. I'm Stephen Dixon.
And I'm Dawn Neeson, and this is GB News Breakfast.
And a huge thank you to you if you voted for us at the National Reality TV Awards. Well, we are very real. Well, I am.
And me.
I what? Yeah, I did, yeah.
We are kind of real,
Real?
yeah.
Real?
Sometimes it doesn't feel real at this time of day, but we are definitely real. But thank you so much, because it's voted for by the viewers, and that means an awful lot.
Yes, we have one. Best News Programme. Here's a moment it happened.
The National Reality TV Award for Best News Programme goes to GB News.
Well done. Growing and growing.
And here we are with a very subtle award. Look at that.
It's lovely. lovely.
It's tasteful and classy.
Yeah.
Go on, thank you, Mum.
Yeah, we'd like to thank our mums, obviously.
It's very, very light.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. No,
it's lovely, though.
It means the world. It really does mean the world. Because awards are decided by the industry, but people that watch and
it's nice
listen.
and shiny. It's shiny plastic.
It's lovely, isn't it? Stop it, Stephen Dixon. We are very grateful for this award. It will change our lives. It means so much.
Still, there's no need to be sarcastic.
Well, I'm being sarcastic to you. Come on, you're saying it's plastic.
Oh,
well,
nice.
it's plastic.
There you go. Well,
No,
no, thank you
you.
very
It's
much.
lovely.
Put it with all the others, shall we?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, do you want to go and do that?
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, make yourself useful, Aidan.
See you later.
Put it on the shelf, Aidan. While Aidan does that... Oh, there you go. Very good.
There's still one missing, by the way.
Yeah, we've got it.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
It's hidden slightly.
NRTA.
Fantastic.
Subtle. Anyway, right, our main news this morning.
Yes.
Donald Trump has issued a warning to the Prime Minister: confront the migrant crisis or watch it continue to kill the country.
Speaking to GB News in the Oval Office, the President described the surge into Europe as an invasion.
Well, his message to the Prime Minister was unequivocal. He can't afford to stay silent.
You've had a couple of weeks to get to know our new Prime Minister. Have you spoken to him much? And do you think he is the man to lead us to excellency?
Well, he did say one very good thing. He said he's going to open up North Sea oil. If he does that, you're going to be a wealthy country. If he does it reasonably. They have two problems. They have a huge immigration problem, people coming from all over the world and just camping out in your country. He's going to have to mention it because it's killing your country. And they're coming from all over the world. They're coming from Africa. They're coming from South America. They're coming from different parts of Asia. And they're invading Europe. I mean, they're invading Europe. It's an invasion. And the UK is a prime suspect.
Well, these comments also follow more than 700 migrants arriving on our shores yesterday. And this revelation from the Shadow Home Secretary, Chris Philp.
Our order is to let them go like that.
Your order is to let them go?
We just have to say to them, don't do that, it's dangerous.
So can the Prime Minister still really claim this?
The Home Secretary has brought forward a very rigorous plan. Boat crossings are down quite significantly year on year, so that does suggest that the plan is working.
All right, let's talk to former Downing Street advisor Oscar Redrup. Oscar, morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Oscar.
The issue with this seems to be that the Prime Minister hasn't yet addressed it. Even though there may not be a plan in place yet, should he still address it as an issue?
Completely, 100%. I think Andy Burnham has impressed in many ways, but he's impressed by being on really comfortable Manchester metropolitan mayor kind of territory and ground. So as a country, I don't think there's anything wrong with this. He's introduced himself to us as via his priorities, I think, and things that he's naturally comfortable with, like buses and, you know, social care and some really retail-y, easily accessible, I would say, cost of living measures. That's what he wants to indicate. They're his priorities. That's the kind of leadership we're going to get in this country. And yet, one of the central issues to millions of people across this country is illegal immigration and the Channel crossings. And we've had nothing. We've had pretty much silence on the issue. And that's why you'll see President Trump fill that void and fill that vacuum by backseat driving. And it's funny, you know, I've worked in Number 10, I've worked in the, you know, those press rooms in Number 10, and front pages like we have on this in the Sun today, you know, big picture of Andy, you know, 1,000 arrivals yesterday across the Channel. You know, how's that plan going, PM? You know, and him looking pretty clueless on the front page of the Sun. It'll be interesting now to see if that forces a reaction. And if he actually goes, right, I've talked about my buses, I've talked about, you know, football and, you know, pub relief. I'm really not minimising those issues.
No,
but actually, okay, and he'll look at his team, he'll look at his cabinet, and he'll go, what are we doing on this issue?
Someone messaged in a couple of weeks ago saying he's tinkering around the edges whilst Rome burns. I mean, because they're very good things that he's raised, and it does matter to a lot of people. It's good sort of solid home issues, if you like. The problem is with this migration issue, it affects the economy, it affects housing, it affects education, the NHS and all the rest of it. It is overarching.
Yeah, and also it taps into a sense of fairness that I think Brits feel very, very keenly. And also just from an electoral standpoint, is there going to be a snap election? Is it going to be, in years' time, whenever it may come, if he can't get to grips with this, and actually, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but if we actually fall further backwards on it, because I do think Mahmood, in fairness, has probably been one of the better performing Home Secretaries we've had in a while. But if actually, because for Burnham, it's not really a big issue, or actually the soft left that have, honestly, and we forget about this, we think Andy Burnham's this really lovely guy and, bloke down the pub. Yeah, that may be true, but he has kind of viciously and forensically and quite impressively for months and months been planning and orchestrating the kind of decapitation of Keir Starmer as Prime Minister. And the soft left that help him get him there, they don't think this is an issue. The soft left do not think illegal immigration is an issue. And actually they probably wish that people stop banging on about it. And if they're the people that are silently pulling the strings behind Andy because they have put him in this position with no opposition whatsoever or scrutiny, then actually I'd be concerned that this will never be an issue for Andy Burnham. And actually he's stuck between the hock and a hard place because he probably understands and looks at the electorate and goes, they feel this so keenly, but the MPs that put me in this place that I owe so much to, they don't see it as a priority. And that could be an awkward bit of tension for Andy Burnham, I think, in the weeks ahead, months ahead.
And this is just over a week in.
Yeah. And actually, just really, really quickly, when September comes, when Parliament returns, a few more front pages like this, I think all of a sudden Andy Burnham's going to realise, oh, I'm in a different job now. I'm in the true hot seat. And let's see if he wilts.
Oscar, thank you so much. We'll see you later on in the show. The thing is, he's going to upset the voters or he's going to upset his backbench MPs. Someone's going to get upset, and he doesn't like to upset people,
It's whether those backbench MPs are controlling him or whether he's used them to get into the top job and now will do what he wants.
Feeling we've been here before.
Haven't we just?
Okay.
It's literally suck it and see at the moment.
Yeah.
Well, the Home Office has said we are aware of posts circulating online that claim French law enforcement are failing to prevent small boat channel crossings. UK-French cooperation has already stopped 46,000 attempted crossings since the election in May. 65% of all small boat events were stopped, despite soaring temperatures, which historically lead to increased crossings.
OK, please do let us know what you think about that, won't you? gbnews.com/yourself. I'm pretty sure you will. OK, in other news, Andy Burnham will pledge to put defence at the heart of his plan to rebuild Britain, announcing over £8 billion in funding for the next phase of the country's nuclear submarine programme.
Well, the government claims the investment will help deliver 4 new Dreadnought-class submarines, support tens of thousands of British jobs, and contribute to 22,000 defence apprenticeships.
Yes, speaking a little later, the Prime Minister will argue that the national security can drive economic growth in every postcode.
Let's head to Hertfordshire, should we? And defence analyst and former British Army officer Simon Diggins. Simon, good morning to you. Look, first and foremost, Dreadnought's been sort of underway since 2016, so why is an £8.4 billion investment needed at this stage?
Good morning to you both. And by the way, congratulations on your award. I think you do a great job. So thank you very much. Well done for your award. I think what this is all about was the actual so-called delivery phase. So Dreadnought's been planned for a while. Last January, in January 25, there was a major announcement in Derby at the Rolls-Royce company there, which makes the engines and nuclear reactors for our submarine fleet. So this has been very much on the cards. I think what the government do is just maximising this formal announcement of investment in Barrow-in-Furness for the actual build of the 4 new Dreadnought-class submarines, to make the point, which you've already made in the introduction, that defence may be able to drive some of the reindustrialisation of Britain and growth in every postcode that Prime Minister Burnham has mentioned.
So, Simon, I'm still confused about the money. Is this money that has been earmarked, as we said, sort of like from years gone by, and is already there for spending? Or is this money that needs to be found? And as we already know, there is a black hole in that defence investment plan.
No, this is earmarked money. So I think they'll be very lucky. They'll be very pushing their luck if they try to claim this as brand new money. I mean, it does finally put the money on the table. And one of the challenges we've had in terms of the defence industrial plan, not just the delay, is actually trying to work out what's real money that's already committed and what may be new money. But you're absolutely correct. The hole in the defence is much, much bigger than this. There's been really no argument about the development of the dreadnought submarines. The government's talked for a while, both governments, this one and the previous government, talked about the kind of triple lock, which is the continuous sea deterrence, the development of these new submarines, and then an agreement to kind of future upgrades. There's really no argument about this, but all the other things that are required in defence, whether it be an air defence system that's fit for the country, armoured vehicles for the army, the aircraft, and particularly our navy, the frigates that we need to escort our ships and do all the other good stuff that navies have to do around the world. That's all missing. And we really are waiting for this. And very disappointingly, only 2 days ago, Prime Minister Burnham, when he was pressed on the issue about can he commit to the 3% by 2030, wouldn't give that commitment. So yes to this, it's a good thing to do. It does mean we're going to have our continuous sea deterrence looking ahead into the 2030s and out to 2050s. But all the other defence systems are still up in the air.
But as you say, Simon, if this is, it was already earmarked, it was already happening. I mean, they cut steel on Dreadnought 10 years ago, didn't they? So, I mean, it's a long and ongoing process. Is this then a declaration? Are they trying to use this as a declaration of intent as to the direction of travel they're seeing?
Partly. I think it's got more to do with the growth in every postcode. So I think this is more about an industrial and jobs policy that is necessarily about defence. And I don't disrespect that. I mean, it is essential that we build our own armed forces up, and we use the opportunity that defence provides to allow growth and help our industry along. But it doesn't really necessarily deal with a defence requirement, which is that we need to be in a position to actually deter President Putin in the next 4 to 5 years' time. Yeah, that's the key to it. That's not yet properly funded and not yet clear that we're going to get that money.
OK. Thank you so much, Simon. That's defence analyst and former British Army officer Simon Diggins there for you.
It's interesting.
I'm very confused by this whole announcement now.
I'm a little bit confused. We were talking to the Defence Secretary just after 9 o'clock this morning, so get some clarity on that, because in a way, this had to go. I mean, maybe it's just sort of further guaranteeing that this will happen. I mean, we're expecting them in 2030, just a couple of years behind schedule already, but nevertheless, it's happening.
This was already ongoing, so why the big fuss about announcing it now? Is it more of the sort of smoke and mirrors about we are doing things, but it was stuff that's already being done?
Yeah, but that's a declaration of intent, I think, which maybe, showing the direction they're going in. I mean, Vanguard, which is the previous class, has been around for a long time now. I was at sixth form college when they launched the first Vanguard. Watched that come out of the DDH,
back in
where
the
they build it all.
1800s, I didn't know we had nuclear submarines then. What a thing!
Yeah, so it'd be quite something. It's great news for Barrow.
Yes,
very
absolutely.
good and desperate for investment.
But we want good news on all the postcodes.
Well, we're going to get it apparently.
Yeah.
I'm hoping every heart.
Let us know what you think. OK, let's move on, shall we? Now, no further action will be taken against Green Party leader Zach Walensky after he shared an image showing a guillotine and the name Nigel. Reform UK had reported him to police, but officers say the threshold for a criminal offence has not been met.
The body of a Scottish woman has been found inside a suitcase in a building in Athens. Greek authorities say the woman, thought to be in her 30s, was identified after Interpol examined fingerprints.
And police chiefs are calling for fewer, bigger forces in what they say would be the largest change to policing for a generation. The National Police Chiefs Council says the current structure is not financially viable and makes it harder to tackle organised crime.
Die-hard England supporters threatening to boycott future World Cups after FIFA unveiled plans to sell stakes in a new company linked to major tournaments. The backlash has intensified. The Football Association saying it's deeply concerned by the plans.
OK, it's still to come. Britain has recorded the biggest increase in anti-Semitic incidents of any major Jewish community. What on earth is going on? Have recent Gaza protests fueled the rise? But first...
Well, it's revealed French police officers are told not to intervene when migrants try to cross the Channel. Is it time for France to foot the bill rather than us? That's next.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Bold.
They are under no illusion.
Brave.
Are you a human trafficker?
Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get this on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it?
From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
I'm going to do now, they are throwing things out the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie's tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pierce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
Do you trust what you're being told? Good, because neither do I.
Those are just facts.
I'm Alex Armstrong, and on my show, we'll expose the spin.
Well, I want to answer that, because you didn't let me last time, because you always speak over me.
The broken promises.
To deny that is denying the truth.
And the hypocrisy.
Needs to
stop.
You think we can allow?
Politics, policy, parliament. Nothing is off limits. No sugarcoating, no fear of offence, just the truth laid bare. Tune in every Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. for Alex Armstrong Tonight, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Here at GB News, we made a promise to tell your stories. And on the 6th of August, we're marking 5 years of doing exactly that.
Celebrate with us by having your say. Join in the debates live on TV and radio.
And meeting your favourite presenters across the country, from Leeds to Aberdeen, from Belfast to Barry Island.
Plus, join me in Essex for our biggest live show of the year. Scan the QR code or visit gbnews.com/celebrate. Terms and conditions apply.
Some people enjoy lazy Sunday mornings, but not me.
What's the truth of the matter?
So that's a very live question.
Would you support him if he waters down these plans?
Before the spin sets in, I'll be getting to the truth.
This is personal.
No soft questions, no easy answers.
It's one thing if the state has rules in this country. It's another thing whether the police and others actually police them.
Setting the agenda and holding those in power to account.
You can't really blame her if the system is set up this way. You will not want to miss it, trust me.
The Camilla Tominey Show, Sundays from 9:30, only on GB News.
Now, people smugglers have launched what maritime security sources are calling a full frontal assault on Britain's borders.
Oh, dear. OK, at least 700 migrants attempted to cross the Channel on Wednesday morning alone as criminal gangs launched boats across 100 miles of the French coastline.
Oh, more than 1,400 people have made the journey from France this year, despite Britain continuing to pay France millions upon millions of pounds to stop them.
Yes, and with footage appearing to show French officers standing by as migrants enter the water, simply waving them on, if you like. Should France be forced to pay Britain's illegal migrant bill?
Or at least pay us back what we've paid.
Nearly £1 billion in total.
I mean, they don't seem to be doing
a great
deal.
What have they spent it on?
I don't know. Let's talk to political commentators Aman Bogal and Matthew Stadlen. Good morning.
Morning.
Aman, we've paid them an awful lot of money.
We have nearly £1 billion, not just money. We've also given them an actual fence to put around Calais. Remember the Calais jungle? Look, France is a launch pad for illegal migration into Britain, and every single illegal dinghy-walla that crosses over and breaks into Britain is a slap on the face of ordinary British citizens who are being forced to pay £10 million a day to house them, to feed them, and we don't know who these people are. They're unvetted, unknown foreign men, right? Not a single one belongs in the United Kingdom, not a single one. We just don't know what sort of a threat they pose. We had an issue with Iranian undercover agents been coming in. We have an issue with, quite recently, an illegal migrant who came in on the boat, breaking into a school with a can of petrol, a hatchet, an axe and a knife, trying to attack a primary school. He doesn't belong here. He shouldn't have been here. That incident shouldn't have taken place. Rhiannon White, who was murdered brutally, right? No one at all. Our women and girls are under threat in their own towns and villages with these illegal dinghywalas being dropped into local communities. Now, the problem here is that we paid France nearly £1 billion to maintain their own law and order. It's a dire situation on the French coast. The French are playing as bad faith actors, refusing to do a basic job of securing their own border, and let's not forget their duty to their own citizens.
All right, Matthew? I mean, the key to all of this is you can understand why France has no particular incentive to stop people coming here. Well, but we're paying them a lot of money to do it.
I would suggest they do have an incentive, actually, because it would clear up northern France, wouldn't it? There wouldn't be these camps. If the French simply decided that they would take back everybody who had come across the Channel from France, then this problem would disappear. So there is a bit of confusion there, because at the same time, it is simply not true that they're doing nothing. As the government points out, 46,000 attempted crossings have been stopped since the last election. And the reason the reason we see these massive boats, or these boats stuffed with 160 people, which is unfathomably dangerous, and I think about 160 people have died in the Channel between 2018 and 2025, which is just appalling. But the reason we're seeing this is because the gangs are adapting as the French get more serious about it. Clearly, they could do more.
But we've had this footage. And I know you can always claim it might be an isolated incident or anything else, but it's Chris Philp, the Shadow Home Secretary, who's filmed these officers saying, no, we only intervene if they get into any danger.
Well, it is problematic. There's no doubt about it. And I think the government recognises it's a problem. It has been the policy of recent governments, government after government, to stop the boats. If it were a simple thing to do, and don't believe the conspiracy theories that somehow the Tories and Labour want these people here, it's not true. Government after government have made it their policy to stop the boats, but it's not a straightforward issue. If it were a straightforward issue, it would have been stopped in its tracks.
Look, there's already precedent for the Royal Navy dropping people back off on the French coast back in the summer of July 2024. So if it could be done then, it could be done now. Look, it's a very simple solution. We need to leave the ACHR. We need to drop every single illegal dinghywaller back on the French coast. This stops in 24 hours.
Can I just ask, you keep calling them dinghywollers?
Yes.
Why?
Because they're travelling in a dinghy. And the walla means off, so they're dinghywallers.
Right. There's no way that the British Navy is going to...
It's already been done. It's already been done.
Just assure you, there is no way that the British Navy is going to enter French waters and drop people on French
There is precedent.
Without the permission of the French. That is fancy politics. It's misleading the British people.
It's already been done. There is precedent.
GB News viewers not to believe a single word of it.
It's already been done. There's a precedent for it. And furthermore, look, we tried a lot of carrot with the French. We've given them £1 billion to sort this out. It's time that we used a bit of stick with this bad faith actors sitting in Paris and Brussels. Let's not forget the EU's hand in all of this. We need to use the stick in the sense we have a huge deficit with the French, right? 1/10 of their cheese industry and 1/5 of their wine industry relies on imports into Britain. Right, it's about time that we sanction the French, we put tariffs on their exports to us and say, look, enough is enough.
Play Trump.
Play Trump.
Absolute nonsense. The idea that we are
nonsense?
going to go
every
to
single
either
British
war with France,
citizen,
either war with France by invading their waters, cross that one out. And the second idea, which is equally preposterous, that we're going to go to economic war with France and start playing Trump with them.
Why not?
And because we would become poorer as a result.
How would we become poorer as a result?
Because they would retaliate. This is, I could just tell you, blow all of this nonsense out of the water. It's not going to happen. I can tell you, it's not going to happen.
That's exactly what we need to do.
Either.
The British government needs to grow a backbone. Every single life of a British citizen should be the primary driver of national policy. democracy. Not what the French think, not what the world thinks. British citizens should be the first and only priority of any British government. And we've had enough. This has been going on from 2018. 200,000 illegal migrants who have no idea what their intentions have come into Britain. That's a city the size of Milton Keynes.
And many of them, by the way, are genuine asylum seekers.
They don't belong here.
Andy Burnham actually.
They don't belong here.
Andy Burnham does care about British people, and what he's doing to that end is trying to sort out social care so that our parents.
Why doesn't he talk about legal migration?
So that our parents and our grandparents actually get the human care that they deserve as they become
vulnerable. What about our women and girls?
As they die. And yesterday, how refreshing it was to have a British Prime Minister saying, "I would like to thank foreign-born carers for looking after my father."
What, the ones who are bringing in 10 people with them as dependents?
In his moment of need. And my father was also helped unspeakably brilliantly by foreign-born workers.
Yes,
almost all
why
of them.
can't our people be carers? We have a million young people who are not doing anything.
So instead of just lambasting people who come to this country, the vast majority of whom are invited and who come to this country to help us,
it's not about
brilliant
that,
to
is
have
it?
them
Social
back.
care visas are the most exploited and abused visas in the country.
That's all been. A lot of that has been stopped actually by
it's
the
not
previous
been stopped.
Conservative
There's still
government
people coming in.
when they realised that there was an issue with social care visas and people bringing dependents.
So you agree?
Net migration has crashed since this Labour government
it's
came
not
to power,
crashed.
partly because
it's not crashed. On the contrary, stop misleading viewers.
It has crashed. Net migration.
What about gross migration? There are more Britons who are leaving Britain because
That's
they cannot.
Roughly stable. You're just misleading people. That has stayed roughly stable.
800,000 foreigners came into this country in the last year. What are you talking about?
From asylum and illegal immigration. I accept, as the government accepts, although Andy Burnham is taking a different approach by not talking about it as much and focusing on other issues, I accept there is a problem, but it is a problem that has a very, very complicated set of solutions.
It's not complicated.
Leaving the ECHR, if you think that is a silver bullet, again, you're talking fantasy politics. It's not. You have to know where to deport these people to. You have to have other countries prepared to take them back.
You drop them back on the French coast.
That's never going to happen.
Why not?
I can
it's already happened before.
assure you it's never going to happen.
It happened in July 2024. It's a precedent for it. If the French don't take it back, then it's time for stick. Sanctions on France. Sort this out.
Yeah, making the British people poorer. Making the British people poorer.
No, British lives matter.
You're talking
women and girls'
nonsense.
lives matter.
Of course they do. Everyone thinks that.
All right, there, gentlemen, we must leave it because I need to sit down.
Well, you are sitting down, love,
Matthew,
by the way.
thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Oh, that'll have woken you up this morning.
That got feisty. And as always, please do let us know which one you agree with on that one at gbnews.com/your say. OK, well, let's cool down, shall we?
Well, no, because it's the weather. It's going to get hotter.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Morning, welcome to the latest weather update from the Met Office. Here on GB News. A cooler feel for many today. Still pretty warm across the southeast and the sunny spells. Fresh breeze and a fair few showers coming in across Scotland. Some showers also for Northern Ireland, especially across the northern half, and the odd shower for Northern England too. Quite a bit more cloud compared to yesterday across the Midlands, southwest England, South Wales. One or two light showers just drifting through, but nothing really useful for gardeners. And a bit more of that cloud just spilling into the southeast through the day, so it won't be as sunny here, won't be as hot either, but still quite warm at 28 Celsius. Cooler conditions further north and certainly feeling pretty chilly with the rain across northern Scotland, which will actually be quite heavy at times here for Orkney, Caithness, Sutherland down into Aberdeenshire. Quite a wet afternoon. Elsewhere, the showers will move through across central and southern Scotland with a fairly brisk breeze, and there'll be some bright spells, particularly across the borders. Some sunny spells too for Northern Ireland. Just a few showers, mostly across the north, and some of those will feed into Cumbria as well. But much of England and Wales looking dry and sunny this afternoon, but a much cloudier afternoon, certainly compared to recent days across the southeast and East Anglia. Again, a little bit of light rain, but nothing for the gardeners that's of any use. And that'll tend to clear away slowly overnight. We'll keep some showers coming into the north and the west. A much, much fresher night, much cooler night, much more comfortable night. Temperatures across northern parts down into single figures, well down in some rural spots. So a much cooler, fresher start to Friday. Another fine and sunny day by and large. Could start quite cloudy across Kent in particular. The clouds should break up here. There'll be some showers coming in across northwest England, again the north of Northern Ireland and western Scotland. But elsewhere, most places dry, plenty of sunshine across the south. But instead of temperatures in the mid-30s, temperatures more likely to be back in the mid-20s. So it is turning cooler.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Oh, put that down.
Oh, sorry.
OK, it's still to come. If you
he
fancy...
was waffling on, so I was just...
I'm sorry. I could tell you what he was showing me, but then you would definitely kill me, wouldn't you?
No, it was a video from Myra Dubois, one of my favourite ladies.
Yes, OK.
Anyway, enough of that. Aidan's got the sport coming up.
Yes, I have. If you fancy a feel-good story, join me after the break to hear how Scunthorpe United of the National League waited 35 years to call in a favour from a Premier League club. See you in a few minutes.
Thank you, Britain, for the thousands of you who are becoming friends of GB News each and every week.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The A1 between junctions 3 and 4 is closed. The A12 northbound is closed between junctions 19 and 21. The A11 is closed after the A134 near Thetford. The A14 is closed between junctions 38 and 40. The M40 is closed between junctions 12 and 11 near Banbury. In Scotland, the M8 is restricted in both directions between junctions 16 and 18 due to essential bridge repairs, causing delays. And on the trains, ScotRail is experiencing major disruption between Glasgow Queen Street and Edinburgh via Airdrie. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact is Trump made a good start. No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions, but every Friday night at 9 p.m. you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Hello, welcome back. Thank you for your company this morning. Really, I do mean that.
You won't believe what Aidan's waffling on about. Mavis Barlow.
Yeah, I met a bloke. Mavis
This is
Wilton.
what we have in the break, ladies and
No, it's
gents.
Mavis Wilton, isn't it? From
Mavis
Coronation Street.
Wilton.
I met a guy from Faversham last night.
Right.
And I said to him, he said that. I said, oh, you must live near Barry McGuigan and Bob Geldof. And he said, yeah, Mavis as well. Mavis from Coronation Street lives down there. Thelma Barlow, that's her real name, isn't it?
Thelma Barlow.
Yeah, Mavis. Yeah. Did you not think that was interesting?
Yeah, it's absolutely riveting. Is there any sport going on?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, good.
I thought she'd retired.
She's retired, but she can still live in Faversham.
Yeah, but I thought Mavis retired to Cartmel.
That's in the show. Yeah, possibly.
Can we talk about the sport, boys?
Yeah,
Come
look,
on,
the
get a
FA
grip.
are under mounting pressure to boycott the World Cup. Now, you will have heard about Gianni Infantino's bid to sell off parts of the World Cup, the bits that make money, the delivery. So, just for context, over the last year or so, it's now become apparent that if you're going to host the World Cup as an individual city or a state as it is in America, you have to bid for that privilege. It used to just be awarded. So that's the bit that makes money. It's a bit like when you sell the post office. You sell the post office, you sell the bits that make the money, like the parcel delivery, not the 55p first-class stamp from Land's End to John O'Groats. So that's the principle. You sell the profitable bits. What?
£1.90, darling, for a first-class stamp now.
Is it?
£1.90.
It's quite pricey, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway. It is quite expensive. But look, the FA are now under pressure, along with lots of other European organisations, governing bodies, stop laughing, to boycott the World Cup because this just isn't football. And yes, it's fine that they want to monetise it. They look at the FIFA look at the FA and they look at the Premier League and look at the NFL and say, well, they're run as private organisations. Why can't we make money as well? And the problem they've got is that they only really take control of 3 tournaments: the World Cup of men and women, and the Club World Cup, which was last summer. So they have 3 opportunities to make their money within a 4-year cycle. Now, if Europe was to really flex their muscle and say, we don't want to be part of this, that's 55 nations. You don't have a World Cup if you don't have the European nations. And so there's some conjecture around how it will look in terms of what the World Cup will look like if it's monetised. I'll tell you what you will see. You'll see more water breaks. You'll see more advertising.
God.
You won't see quarters. You'll see more like 8s.
That's not football.
And you'll probably see the goals being made bigger. And you could see the prize money will be bigger, but I think the prize money is big enough as it
Half-time
is.
shows with Beyonce.
It would be, yeah.
Oh,
But let's listen
now.
to the FIFA president, Gianni Infantino. Here's how he defended his proposals.
FIFA for Enterprise, or FFE, is actually a proposal, an offer. It's part of a democratic process, a consultation process. And above all, it is an opportunity, but not an obligation. And as I said, it kicks off the consultation process.
That's Gianni Infantino. He's under pressure as a CEO, as the organisation, as the president to make money, and he's certainly doing that. That would be his defence.
All right. Can we have something feel good, please?
Yes, certainly. Scunthorpe United signed a player from Aston Villa in 1991 called Neil Cox for £400,000 plus 2,000 seats. Are you still with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Good. You know how contracts sometimes can be quite complex. Sometimes, you pay 400 grand up front, we'll have another 50 grand next year and 50 grand the year after that. Well, they wanted some seats. So this is for their ground, their stadium. This is a National League side. Money is hard to come by sometimes. And so an employee of the club, Julie Taylor, remembered 35 years on, when they noticed Aston Villa getting rid of some of the seats at their ground, we had a clause in the contract in this deal from 1991 when we sold Neil Cox to Aston Villa, which said we could have 2,000 of their seats. Why don't we give them a ring and find out if we can have those 2,000 seats, because we'd like to upgrade our stadium.
So they've never done it, then?
No, they'd never realised it was something just in the future. They never had need for it. I guess they made their own arrangements for seats and everyone had just forgotten about it over the years. So they phoned Aston Villa and they said, you know what? Fine, come and collect the seats. They're here waiting for you. We'll pile them up for you. And there's the picture there of Julie Taylor, the player liaison officer at Scunthorpe United, who went to Aston Villa. Sorry, no, she crammed in about... I don't know how many trips she made, but she said she didn't take the full allocation of 2,000. If there's a couple hundred left, they might go and collect them in the future.
I think it's a lovely story. And obviously it's the claret and blue theme.
You wouldn't believe how expensive those seats are if you buy them brand new. Yeah. You're talking into the hundreds of thousands.
I brought my old seat at West Ham. Yeah, that was very expensive. Yeah.
And the thing is, they're both teams are claret and blue, so they match up.
Yeah. You had to explain that for Stephen, who was looking slightly
I've no
confused.
idea, yeah.
No idea at all.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. OK, still to come, the third drought in 5 years engulfs half of England following back-to-back heat waves. Are you in one of those areas? I'll get to the bottom of that one with Will Kingston and Norman Baker. But first, it is indeed time for the weather forecast in the European destinations.
Can't wait to get in that sea.
Lovely and warm.
Just like the feeling of having great travel insurance.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Things remain very hot across Italy and parts of southern Spain. 1 or 2 showers in northern Spain and across the south of France. Plenty of sunshine for Greece and Turkey. Hot in Croatia as well as Italy. 40 degrees in Rome. 1 or 2 showers possible in southern France. More likely to see thunderstorms over more central parts of France. The odd shower over northern Spain too, but most of Spain and Portugal dry and sunny. Pretty hot in the Canaries as well. Plenty more sunshine throughout the weekend also.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
Let's talk now to showbiz journalist Nelson Aspen and former US House advisor Lee Cohen about this conversation. Good evening, gentlemen. Nelson, let me start with you. What has Oprah been criticised for here? Because a lot of people have taken a shot at her watching this interaction.
That's right. Oprah is worth well over $3 billion. She does not need to present a retrospective of her greatest moments, but she is obviously desperate to stay relevant. And in this 1.5 hour special, the Harry and Meghan interview comes in at about 15 minutes. And it was obvious that she needs to backpedal. It is obvious that it was the greatest softball display of favoritism in broadcast history almost.
GB News, the People's Channel. This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
Temperatures are set to soar again next week as heat health alerts remain in place across large parts of England. So my favourite meteorologist to talk to ever in life is John Ketley. John, good to see you. Looking very sun-tanned and gorgeous, it has to be said, in matching pink. John, we've got another heat wave on the way.
Surprise, surprise.
Yay, it's summer.
Yeah, it seems to have been a very prolonged summer this year, didn't it? Obviously, it started early. We started with that very hot weather in May, which is unusual. And then we had further hot weather during June and again in July as well. So it seems a little bit different this year. It's been going on for so long. It's almost as if we've been really, the tentacles of Europe have been extending across the UK, and we've turned into a continental regime, really.
GB News, the People's Channel. This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
It's just a fact of life. You know, I'm of the generation, my grandfathers and great uncles all fought in World War II, but my children, you know, that's not a memory for them. They never met anyone who was in the Holocaust, and we have short memories. We're the TikTok generation. We have, you know, 5 seconds worth of attention we put on anything. So I think it's a good step. UNESCO has had some scandals in the past, or at least they've chosen to recognize things that perhaps I don't think are all that significant. But the D-Day beaches I visited myself a few years back, they're very well preserved, by the way, so I'm not sure how much this adds in terms of resources or what it can really do to increase young people's knowledge of history, but it can't be a bad thing, can it?
I mean, it's an amazing story all around, and it's a story that deserves to be told over and over and over again.
GB News, the People's Channel.
We're going through the papers at 7:46 with Will Kingston and Norman Baker. Good morning, Will. Let's have a look at The Guardian.
Do we have to?
Yes, we do. Because the Prime Minister is putting the renewal of Trident at the heart of his vision for a reindustrialised Britain. We want to be reindustrialised, don't we?
We do, and I can't argue with this. Look, I'll say 2 things. Number one, Andy Burnham does enjoy gorging on low-hanging fruit, because no one can really argue here.
He's a politician.
He is a politician, but it goes to show how woeful the political instincts of Keir Starmer was. Because of course this is the right thing to do. There's jobs. There's defence, you know, everyone on the right and the left are all happy. There is 18,000 extra jobs, in fact, by 2030, 22,000 additional apprenticeships by 2035. The one thing I'll say about this, and again, I support the renewal of the nuclear defence program in this country, is it does need to be paid for. It's about £8 billion that needs to go towards this. And there's 2 ways you can go about doing that. You can either cut spending somewhere else, which is what I would advise, or you can raise taxes. And now what we have heard is, in all likelihood, it will be the latter. I would suggest the better way to go about reindustrialisation and go about the renewal of defence in this country is by looking at the bloated areas of spending in other parts of the budget. I don't necessarily think Burnham has the appetite to do that.
Norman, what we're hearing about this, though, is that this is already money that is there. It's just announcing that the money that was there we're now spending. From what we can work out, it's all not that clear at the moment.
Well, I don't know if that's true or not, but what I do know is that governments of all colours are very happy to re-announce things as being brand new when actually they were announced 3 months ago or months ago. In fact, many times before, re-released more times than a watershed appeal by Procol Harum, some of these announcements. So, I mean, it may be that we've announced it before. What I would say is the defence budget needs to go up, of course. Everybody seems to think that's the right thing to do, particularly with the Americans kind of backing out of NATO effectively, or backing out of supporting Europe. And if you do that, you've also got to take into account the fact that defence is changing. I mean, look at what's happened in Ukraine. I mean, Zelensky has completely changed the nature of war by using drones and the attacks on Russia being very successful. So, the idea of having, say, a couple of battleships is looking very old-fashioned. Where we are now is cybercrime. We're looking at drones. We're looking at, in this case, nuclear deterrent.
But what's been made very clear by the military chiefs is that we need all of it.
Yeah.
Well, we to be honest with you, we've got a couple of aircraft carriers which are so thin in terms of the skin that they have to be surrounded by boats in order to be hit. I mean, that's a nonsensical waste of money, to be honest with you.
Well, I don't know. Let's have a look at the weather conditions, should we, Norman? Because we're looking at a lot of the country in drought now, officially, and we're not going to get suitable rain to stop the drought until October.
No, and I don't know whether you can picture this front page of the FT, and also I think it's on the Times as well, which is picking up Blackheath in London, which is just...
Is that Blackheath?
It is Blackheath. It's incredible. It's kind of like Brown's Heath, really.
Isn't it?
I think you see that on the camera. But I mean, it's just incredible that this is just... it's a very striking photo. It's the third drought in 5 years of this nature. We're using water faster than it's being able to be replaced. This is, and we're seeing wildfires, of course, in France and Spain. And no one's going to tell me climate change isn't here, because climate change is kicking in. And we've got to deal with it, both in terms of trying to minimise any further climate change, but also in trying to make sure we're protected for the climate change that's already happening.
Will, we're being told to sort of not take as many showers and shower quicker, and obviously not wash our cars, not water our gardens, etc., etc. But I mean, given the amount of water that is wasted in leaks from water companies that haven't upkept their infrastructure.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And whilst I am instinctively against nationalisation of industry, where there are industries where there is a natural monopoly like water, I'm more sympathetic.
You're studying left-wing again.
Are you sure? You're right, used to.
Yes, no, I haven't woken up yet. My right-wing instincts haven't kicked in yet. No, I'm more sympathetic to that. On the climate change thing, I don't think many sensible people are necessarily arguing that the climate isn't changing. It goes down to causation, and it goes down to what do you do about it. And in both of those cases, I think there are genuine questions that need to be asked. But look, the main point is strength and love to all of the farmers out there. I've got many friends back in Australia who are from farming families, and they are at the mercy of the weather so often. Rates of suicide in farming are terribly high because you are so helpless so often. So as much as this government, and again, this was another problem that Starmer had, was some of the constraints that he put on the agricultural sector. If Burnham can say, well, we're going to help out what is an industry which is fundamental to this country, then again, that would be a very popular move.
Well, it would be indeed. I mean, what Starmer did was kick a lot of things into the long grass, except the long grass is no longer there.
Got the long grass. Oh, very good.
See what you did there.
Can we have a look just briefly at the Mail, Will? Because we're all getting older. No, that sounds stupid. But more of us are living to over 100.
Yeah, look, that is fundamentally a good thing. So the number of centenarians has surged by more than a fifth in a decade, and the birth rate has plunged at the same time. So what we have 15,172 people aged over 100 getting a letter from the King in England and Wales last year. Again, this is a good thing. It's good that people are living longer. The thing we need to consider is how do you actually deal with that? I know Burnham is thinking about how do you reform social care. I would suggest, and this is a very difficult conversation to have, we think about how does the family replace the role of the state in actually thinking about how we help older people.
Yeah. All right, you too. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. See you next time round. Time for the Great British Giveaway and your chance to win £60,000 in tax-free cash and that gold bar worth over £5,000. Here's all the details for you.
It's the Great British Giveaway Golden Summer Celebration. Your chance to win 2 fantastic prizes. There's an incredible £60,000 in tax-free cash that can make your bank account brilliant. And because it's tax-free, you get to keep every single penny. Plus, you'll also get your hands on a fine gold bar worth over £5,000. You could give that to your children, your grandchildren, or just invest it for the future. What would you do with it? Just make sure you don't miss your chance to win £60,000 cash and a fine gold bar. For a chance to win £60,000 in tax-free cash and a real gold bar, text GOLD to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge, or post your name and number to GB22 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrants must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 21st of August. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pooled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Water company people. Okay. Right, the Prime Minister is preparing to unveil a major defence boost this morning, but will it make Britain any safer? We'll talk to the Conservatives about that in just a moment.
But first, we've been talking about it already. It's time for the weather with Alex.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Morning, welcome to your latest weather update from the Met Office. Here on GB News, a cooler feel for many today. Still pretty warm across the southeast in the sunny spells. Fresh breeze and a fair few showers coming in across Scotland. Some showers also for Northern Ireland, especially across the northern half, and the odd shower for Northern England too. Quite a bit more cloud compared to yesterday across the Midlands, southwest England, South Wales. 1 or 2 light showers just drifting through, but nothing really useful for gardeners. And a bit more of that cloud just spilling into the southeast through the day, so it won't be as sunny here, won't be as hot either, but still quite warm at 28 Celsius. Cooler conditions further north, and certainly feeling pretty chilly with the rain across northern Scotland, which will actually be quite heavy at times here for Orkney, Caithness, Sutherland down into Aberdeenshire. Quite a wet afternoon. Elsewhere, the showers will move through across central and southern Scotland with a fairly brisk breeze, and there'll be some bright spells, particularly across the borders. Some sunny spells too for Northern Ireland. Just a few showers, mostly across the north, and some of those will feed into Cumbria as well. But much of England and Wales looking dry and sunny this afternoon, but a much cloudier afternoon, certainly compared to recent days across the southeast and East Anglia. Again, a little bit of light rain, but nothing for the gardeners that's of any use. And that'll tend to clear away slowly overnight. We'll keep some showers coming into the north and the west. A much, much fresher night, much cooler night, much more comfortable night. Temperatures across northern parts down into single figures, well down in some rural spots. So a much cooler, fresher start to Friday. Another fine and sunny day by and large. Could start quite cloudy across Kent in particular. The clouds should break up here. There'll be some showers coming in across northwest England, again the north of Northern Ireland and western Scotland. But elsewhere, most places dry, plenty of sunshine across the south. But instead of temperatures in the mid-30s, temperatures more likely to be back in the mid-20s. So it is turning cooler.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Thank you, Britain, for making GB News Radio such a huge success. Whether you're in the car, on the go or listening at home, thank you for choosing us as your radio station.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The A1M between junctions 3 and 4 is closed. The A12 northbound is closed between junctions 19 and 21. The A11 is closed after the A134 in Thetford. The M40 is closed between junctions 12 and 11 near Banbury. The A428 is closed after the A1 near St Neots. In Scotland, the A90 is restricted in both directions at Finnevon due to planned roadworks with a contraflow system causing delays. And on the trains, ScotRail is experiencing major disruption between Glasgow Queen Street and Edinburgh via Airdrie, while East Midlands Railway has a reduced service. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
It's the Great British Giveaway Golden Summer Celebration. Your chance to win 2 fantastic prizes. There's an incredible £60,000 in tax-free cash. Plus, you'll also get your hands on a fine gold bar worth over £5,000. For a chance to win £60,000 in tax-free cash and a real gold bar, text GOLD to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entry starts at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB22 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 21st of August. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pulled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
At the stroke of midnight, the news doesn't stop, and neither do we.
Day in, day out. Forget stuffy late night TV shows. We're giving you a front row ticket to the centre of the political universe.
Because breaking news doesn't wait for the morning.
And neither do we. Join us for one of the most controversial and volatile times of politics in human history.
A very big story.
Big story over here.
You won't get this anywhere else. The Late Show live at midnight, every night.
Only on GB News.
Britain is not just a geographical expression. We are a people bound together by history and culture that are distinctively British. Join me to celebrate our music, theatre, artworks and literature, which we can explore and enjoy together.
Everybody's welcome.
Sunday with Michael Costello. Every Sunday at 11 a.m. on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Good morning. President Trump delivers a stark warning to Britain's new Prime Minister over illegal migration.
Yes, Donald Trump tells GB News the crisis is killing Britain and claims Europe is facing an invasion.
He's going to have to mention it because it's killing your country. And they're invading Europe. I mean, they're invading Europe. It's an invasion. And the UK is a prime suspect.
I was in the Oval Office for GB News, and while our own Prime Minister avoids media scrutiny, President Trump was very clear. Andy Burnham needs to talk about migration.
But as Britain continues to pay hundreds of millions to France to try to stop the crossings, why is this happening?
Our order is to let them go like that.
Your order is to let them go?
We just have to say to them, don't do that, it's dangerous.
Shocking. Elsewhere, the Prime Minister announces an £1 billion investment in nuclear submarines. Is defence spending now key to rebuilding Britain's economy?
Britain has recorded the biggest increase in anti-Semitic incidents of any major Jewish community, but have recent Gaza protests fuelled the rise? We'll debate that later on.
Yes, and things you never hear. Harry is back in court. The Duke of Sussex is, indeed, in the High Court today. Not over privacy this time, but over eye-watering legal bill after losing his case against the publisher of the Daily Mail newspaper.
Ladies and gentlemen, George Michael!
He was the biggest pop star in the world.
George Michael's estate is suing his former best friend for releasing never-before-seen footage.
FIFA have opened disciplinary proceedings against Argentina over their behaviour following their World Cup final loss to Spain and throughout the tournament. And they've been branded the Argentina of cricket, but amateurs Saltburn have suspended the player at the centre of the Clickgate scandal.
A different feel out there today. Still very warm in the sunshine across the southeast, but not as hot as it was yesterday. Overall, a cloudier day, and yes, there will be some rain around. Will you see any? Well, join me later for a full forecast.
It's just gone 8 o'clock. I'm Stephen Dixon.
And I'm Dawn Neeson, and this is GB News Breakfast.
And we're starting with a shiny new award this morning.
We are.
So thank you very, very much if you voted in the National Reality TV Awards. We won Best News Programme.
We did, yes.
So there you go. It's very nice and
It's
shiny.
lovely. And what's really important about this award, though, is it's voted for viewers. So thank you so much from everybody here for voting for us.
Yes, this is the moment it was announced last night.
The National Reality TV Award for Best News Programme goes to GB News.
Well done. Growing and growing.
Oh, I don't know who went up to collect it.
I think it might have been Miriam and Nana.
Oh, right.
I think so. I think I saw a picture on social media from one of them, yeah. But it was lovely. I mean, it's a really lovely... It's lovely to win awards.
Of course it is.
Lovely. We're racking them up.
Thank you very much indeed. We do appreciate it. We appreciate all your support. And it's lovely, especially when we're out and about and people stop and say hello, which happens all the time, which is just so, so kind of you. So thank you very much indeed. Now, the Prime Minister is pledging to put defence at the heart of his plan to rebuild Britain, announcing over £8 billion in funding for the next phase of our nuclear submarine programme.
Yes, the government claims the investment will help deliver 4 new Dreadnought-class submarines that support tens of thousands of British jobs and contribute 22,000 defence apprenticeships by 2035.
Well, talking a little later, the PM will argue that national security can drive economic growth in every postcode.
OK, let's cross live to Kent now and speak to the Conservatives' Tom Tugendhat. Tom, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
I'm sorry you didn't get to go to the dinner last night. That sounded like it was rather good fun.
No, it's not fair, is it?
We were preparing for
you're
this
doing
show.
the morning show. I know, there you go.
Exactly. So, Tom, what do you make of this announcement today?
Look, I mean, I welcome it, but let's be frank, it's a repeat of what Keir Starmer said. So, you know, I mean, I'm delighted he's repeating the promises that the last Prime Minister made, but it's not exactly a new announcement. And what we really need to find out is not where they're going to go in sort of 2035, but where they're going to go tomorrow, because we need to have this investment now. And that's, after all, why John Healey resigned. John Healey wrote that letter to the Chancellor, who is now, oh yes, John Healey, saying you've got to get to 3%. Pretty much now, and there's no indication at all on how they're going to get there, and that's really important.
Would you look, I get it. I totally get what you're saying. However, they're only just in the job, and we know they're all in the job without much of a plan at the moment. So can we really expect any sense of direction on this until Parliament is back from recess?
Well, look, Stephen, I think that's a really fair point, and that's exactly why we tried to get Andy Burnham, the new Prime Minister, before Parliament when he was just, chosen by the Labour Party. Because the reality is, Rishi Sunak had to appear before Parliament within a matter of days. Boris, when he took over, you'll remember, from Theresa, he appeared before Parliament within a matter of days. And he's got 3 months when he's not answering any questions. Now, I know that in a parliamentary system, he's got the absolute right to be Prime Minister. There's no question about that. But he was elected by 20,000 people in Macclesfield. He wasn't elected by, the British people. So it's not unreasonable that the representatives of the British people are able to ask him questions. And this is exactly why. Because if we don't get answers on this, then what we're delaying is we're delaying investments, we're delaying choices, we're delaying decisions for 3, 4, 5 months until these decisions are made. And this is really important because we know already today Russia is probing countries like Estonia and Poland with drones. We know it is. We've seen it. It's not a secret. And we know that Russia is, attacking or rather scoping our undersea cable that connects us to the internet and to electricity and to power with their submarines. Now, we need to be making really serious decisions on defence today. I'm really glad that Wes Streeting has repeated the commitment. I'd rather hope that John Healey might have thought about this a little bit before, given that he was the Defence Secretary up until about 10 minutes ago. And now that he's the Chancellor, he's in a position to correct the errors that he complained about. So,
Tom, sorry, talking about the money, which I'm still trying, a couple of hours in of talking about this story, trying to get my head round. Is this money that is already there and has been allocated, so it's an announcement, or is it new money that we need to find?
No, it's new money. And this is where, I don't know if you remember, but it feels like a year ago, but actually it was only about 2 or 3 weeks ago, Keir Starmer did his defence investment plan, so-called DIP, and it came out. and he announced a £15 billion increase in defence spending. Well, no, not when you read it. He announced £15 billion. £5 billion was, well, we'll get it out of the Treasury in some way in the future. Well, if you don't tell me where the money's coming from, you'll forgive me for not believing you when you say you've got it. And the other 10 billion, that was from internal savings from other government departments. Right, OK, so you've promised me money from the Department of Health, the Department of Welfare and Pensions, but you haven't told me where it's going to come from. I'm not convinced that it's going to turn up. And there's a real problem here that we're getting, we get this from Andy a lot. And personally, I quite like Andy, actually. He's a decent bloke. He presents well. He's got a good way about him. But it's all vibes. It's all feelings. I'm afraid government isn't about feelings. It's about pounds and pence. It's about where's the money coming from. And I'm afraid in moments like this, it's about winners and losers. Which department's going to win? Which department's going to lose?
All right, but then if this is new money, which, as you say, has to be found, or we need to know which pod it's coming out of, why does something like Dreadnought need £8.4 billion? They cut steel on it 10 years ago. Why? I mean, surely that should have been, under the Tories, a costed plan to get this from cutting steel to getting it launched to getting it into service. Should have been a funded plan. So why are they needing an additional £8.4 billion?
Well, there's a few reasons for that, actually. One of the reasons is that there were some delays put into it a couple of years ago. Can you imagine what time that was? Yep, it was just as the government came in. They wanted to have another look at the project. And when you delay a project in defence, you don't actually cut the cost, you just delay the cost. And in many cases, you actually increase it. Because defence inflation, so the cost of things, goes up over the years. And defence inflation is running about 7-8%, depending on which piece of kit, because you're dealing with the latest technology, you're dealing with the highest end of stuff. So it runs quite high. And what happened over the last couple of years is that those delays have increased the cost. And that's one of the effects that we've got. The second thing is, there's been quite a lot of pressure on energy costs. And this is one of the reasons why Kemi is absolutely right, that we need to be tapping the North Sea. We need to be, realistic about what energy demands the UK has, because those energy costs, they really feed straight through into steel cutting and steel welding and all the rest of it, and a hell of a lot of the industrial work that goes into producing our defence submarines. So that is massively important. And the combination of all of that has just increased the cost, and there's no way around it, I'm afraid. Look, I'm really pleased that Andy Burnham and Wes Streeting have confirmed Boris's and Rishi's plan for AUKUS. I think that's great, that joint commitment with the Australians and the Americans on nuclear deterrent and nuclear deterrent submarines. Sorry, nuclear-powered submarines. Forgive me, that was a mistake. But it's also important to get the money out.
Tom, I have to ask you the question many of our viewers are asking this morning. How the hell can we expect to, put up a defence against the likes of Putin when we can't even defend our own borders from men in small boats coming across the channel?
I think you're absolutely right. Look at what Chris Philp has been exposing. Chris Philp, the Shadow Home Secretary, he's been in France. You just ran some of the coverage where he was talking to the French gendarmes, and they were basically saying, yeah, none of my business, mate. It's not a great answer, is it? Because it's a real problem. Now, the last time that we saw the numbers falling was when we had the Rwanda scheme going, and we saw the numbers going down because people knew that they were going to get moved to, either to Rwanda or they were going to get hoofed out. And we saw people crossing the border from Northern Ireland into the Republic of Ireland, so much so that the Irish Interior Minister was complaining about the Rwanda scheme because it was creating the deterrent effect in the UK. Now, when Labour scrapped it, guess what? You could see what happened. We just got the numbers back up again. This is absolutely unacceptable. It is absolutely a national security priority. We know that, the Telegraph reported only the other day that countries like Iran are trying to get people into the UK in these routes. It is a real danger, and we simply cannot accept it.
OK. Tom,
just quickly, one final question. Sorry, we are running out of time, Tom. Thank you for your patience on this one. Donald Trump overnight has described it as an invasion. Would you agree with him?
Well, I agree with him. There's a massive problem. I mean, whatever term you want to use, I don't really mind. What I really care about is the fact that we stop it. That's what's really important. That's why Kemi's commitment on this is absolutely essential, because this isn't just about sweet words and sort of vibe coding our way into, the future. This is about what is the plan. Now, Kemi set out a really clear plan, and sadly, people like me who've been committed to international law in various different ways aren't happy about it, but it is the right thing to do, is to leave the organisations and the legal structures that stop us doing it. And I'm afraid the European Convention on Human Rights is one. So Kemi is absolutely right. She's the only leader setting out a proper plan, not just shouting about it, but doing something about it. And she will be ready when she's Prime Minister to make sure this stops.
Okay. Tom, thank you very much.
Good to see you this morning. Right, let's return to that big spend, new spend, is it? I don't know. Let's get some detail from military analyst Sean Bell. Sean, good to see you. Look, I've got to ask first and foremost, Dreadnought, I mean, it's replacing Vanguard, which has been around for a very long time, carrying our Trident missiles. How important is it that we get Dreadnought up and running, out on sea trials, in good time for the security of this nation?
Yeah, good morning to you both. I mean, one of the things about the nuclear deterrent is that you can't have it available only a few days a week. It's got to be available 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. And these Vanguard-class submarines have been getting older and older. There have been more and more problems keeping them serviceable. So some of the submarines, when they are out on patrol, have to stay out there longer and longer. And it's becoming more and more difficult to sustain it. The whole principle is continuous at-sea deterrent, and therefore it's the minimum sort of credible capability that the UK can have, because they're very difficult to find, which means any adversary that might want to have a go at you, he will never be able to target your submarines. They'll always be able to strike back. So it's really important cornerstone of our national defence. They should have been in the new Dreadnought should have been in place slightly earlier. They have been delayed through various, they're quite right, analysis of how much money they cost, because it's incredibly expensive. The big headline for you, though, Stephen, is that generally we spend 12% of the defence budget on our nuclear deterrent. Over the last few years, it's risen to 24%, in nearly a quarter, because we're trying to develop this new generation of submarines, which is fearsomely expensive, but is absolutely essential if we're to guarantee a nuclear deterrent into the future.
Sean, just quickly and finally, how vulnerable actually are we at the moment?
Well, away from the nuclear deterrent, I think you only have to look in the news today. We've had Kyiv last night in Ukraine, massive ballistic missile strike from Russia. Overnight, America's been striking Iran. Iran's been throwing more missiles at Jordan. And if you look at the UK, we have no defence for ballistic missiles. I'd say that again several times. People regularly ask me, are we vulnerable to these things? Of course we are. We've spent 35 years of largely enjoying a peace dividend. Now war is coming to the European continent. We have to be better prepared. We've not got to increase our defence spending to make sure we're not vulnerable. The best way to prepare to divert and avert a war is to prepare for it. We are not prepared today.
OK, Sean, good to see you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, let's head to the White House, should we, where President Trump has issued a warning to the Prime Minister: confront the migrant crisis or watch it continue to kill the country.
Yeah, speaking to GB News in the Oval Office, the President described the surge into Europe as an invasion.
And his message to Andy Burnham was pretty clear: he cannot afford to stay silent.
You've had a couple of weeks to get to know our new Prime Minister. Have you spoken to him much? And do you think he is the man to lead us to excellency?
Well, he did say one very good thing. He said he's going to open up North Sea oil. If he does that, you're going to be a wealthy country. If he does it reasonably. They have two problems. They have a huge immigration problem, people coming from all over the world and just camping out in your country. He's going to have to mention it because it's killing your country. And they're coming from all over the world. They're coming from Africa. They're coming from South America. They're coming from different parts of Asia. And they're invading Europe. I mean, they're invading Europe. It's an invasion. And the UK is a prime suspect.
Those comments also follow over 700 migrants arriving, well, some estimates put it at 1,000, arriving on Britain's shores yesterday. And this revelation from Shadow Home Secretary Chris Philp.
Our order is to let them go like that.
Your order is to let them go?
We just have to say to them, don't do that, it's dangerous.
Well, our political correspondent, Olivia Utley, is in Westminster for us. I mean, it's fascinating, this, Olivia, isn't it? Because it's clearly an issue. Everyone acknowledges it's an issue, and yet the Prime Minister has yet to utter anything about it.
Yes, I think Andy Burnham won't particularly relish Donald Trump's comments. Andy Burnham knows that this is a very, very difficult problem for any Prime Minister, but particularly a Labour Prime Minister from the soft left of the party. There are plenty of those in his party who don't even recognise the small boats problem as a problem at all, who would like to see more open borders and more refugees, as they would say, coming to the UK. Andy Burnham is much happier when he doesn't have to talk about it, but he must talk about it because although it has looked for the last couple of months as though Keir Starmer's immigration reforms were having an effect, we were beginning to see those numbers going down, and we were also seeing migrants having to move from Belgium into Dover rather than going from France into Dover, because it looked as though that deal that Shabana Mahmood made with the French, whereby French police get a lot of money to patrol their borders for us, it looked as though it was working. It now looks as though it isn't working at all, and we are again beginning to think that it was just a relatively calm year in the Channel, not particularly choppy waters, that was keeping those numbers down. As you said in your introduction there were 700 migrants who came over yesterday, and as you can see in that interview between Chris Philp and the French police don't seem particularly incentivised to do much about the migrants arriving here. In the Times, there's a report from one of their reporters who was on the boat interviewing Chris Philp yesterday in the Channel. That boat was essentially almost fired very close to, by French police patrolling the waters. There wasn't a clear naval exercise going on. There was no particular reason for the shots. The Times and Chris Philp both felt as though it was some sort of intimidation tactic by the French police to stop British reporters covering what is going on in the Channel. Now, a lot of money has been given to the French police to try and solve this issue, but at the moment it looks as though the French and the English don't seem to be working particularly well together on this issue.
Olivia, thank you so much. That's Olivia Utley there for you. Worrying times indeed. Meanwhile, a Home Office spokesperson has said, "We are aware of posts circulating online that claim French law enforcement are failing to prevent small boat channel crossings. UK-French cooperation has already stopped over 46,000 attempted crossings since the election. In May alone, 65% of all small boat events were stopped, despite soaring temperatures, which have historically led to increased crossings."
And we'll park that one there, though you can always keep the conversation going on gbnews.com/your say. In the meantime, talking of that better weather, shall we see what it's going to do today with Alex?
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Morning, welcome to your latest weather update from the Met Office. Here on GB News. A cooler feel for many today. Still pretty warm across the southeast in the sunny spells. Fresh breeze and a fair few showers coming in across Scotland. Some showers also for Northern Ireland, especially across the northern half, and the odd shower for Northern England too. Quite a bit more cloud compared to yesterday across the Midlands, southwest England, South Wales. One or two light showers just drifting through, but nothing really useful for gardeners. And a bit more of that cloud just spilling into the southeast through the day, so it won't be as sunny here, won't be as hot either, but still quite warm at 28 Celsius. Cooler conditions further north, and certainly feeling pretty chilly with the rain across northern Scotland, which will actually be quite heavy at times here for Orkney, Caithness, Sutherland down into Aberdeenshire. Quite a wet afternoon. Elsewhere, the showers will move through across central and southern Scotland with a fairly brisk breeze, and there'll be some bright spells, particularly across the borders. Some sunny spells too for Northern Ireland. Just a few showers, mostly across the north, and some of those will feed into Cumbria as well. But much of England and Wales looking dry and sunny this afternoon, but a much cloudier afternoon, certainly compared to recent days across the southeast and East Anglia. Again, a little bit of light rain, but nothing for the gardeners that's of any use. And that'll tend to clear away slowly overnight. We'll keep some showers coming into the north and the west. A much, much fresher night, much cooler night, much more comfortable night. Temperatures across northern parts down into single figures, well down in some rural spots. So a much cooler, fresher start to Friday. Another fine and sunny day by and large. Could start quite cloudy across Kent in particular. The clouds should break up here. There'll be some showers coming in across northwest England, again the north of Northern Ireland and western Scotland. But elsewhere, most places dry, plenty of sunshine across the south. But instead of temperatures in the mid-30s, temperatures more likely to be back in the mid-20s. So it is turning cooler.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Still to come, just after 9 o'clock, we're going to be talking to the Defence Secretary, Wes Streeting, ahead of that announcement on defence later this morning.
But first, Britain has recorded the biggest increase in anti-Semitic incidents of any major Jewish community. But have recent Gaza protests fueled the rise? We'll be debating that next. This is GB News with Stephen and Dawn.
Breaking news, live updates, stories that matter.
From the heart of the GB newsroom to every corner of Britain, with our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
GB News bulletins are there to deliver the latest news that matters to you.
Bulletins on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions, but every Friday night at 9 p.m. you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
isn't it? Because the failure is... You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co weeknights at 6 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Britain is not just a geographical expression. We are a people bound together by history and culture that are distinctively British. Join me to celebrate our music, theatre, artworks and literature which we can explore and enjoy together.
Everybody's welcome.
Sunday with Michael Costello. Every Sunday at 11 a.m. on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Do you trust what you're being told? Good, because neither do I.
Those are just facts.
I'm Alex Armstrong, and on my show, we'll expose the spin.
Well, I want to answer that because you didn't let me last time, because you always speak over me.
The broken promises.
To deny that is denying the truth.
And the hypocrisy.
Needs to stop. You think we can allow?
Politics, policy, parliament. Nothing is off limits. No sugarcoating, no fear of offence, just the truth laid bare. Tune in every Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. for Alex Armstrong Tonight, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Here at GB News, we made a promise to tell your stories.
And on the 6th of August, we're marking 5 years of doing exactly that.
Celebrate with us by having your say. Join in the debates live on TV and radio.
And meeting your favourite presenters across the country, from Leeds to Aberdeen, from Belfast to Barry Island.
Plus, join me in Essex for our biggest live show of the year. Scan the QR code or visit gbnews.com/celebrate. Terms and conditions apply.
It's 8:26 now. Britain has recorded the biggest rise in anti-Semitic incidents of any country with a major Jewish population outside of Israel.
It's quite shocking, yeah. The new report reveals incidents in the UK rose by 5% last year. That says anti-Semitism across 7 major nations remains far above the levels recorded before the October 7 attacks and the war in Gaza.
Now, the question is, have the recent pro-Palestinian protests fuelled anti-Semitism in Britain? Should we talk to a Jewish community leader, Levi Shapiro, and political commentator Samuel Sweet? Morning to you both.
Morning.
Levi, Are you surprised? I mean, I'm surprised. I know it's risen in the UK. I mean, that's pretty clear from what we've seen. But are you surprised that we are second only to Israel in the level of increase in anti-Semitism?
Good morning. Good to be back. The findings in the J7 report clearly is very disturbing and upsetting for the community. If you're asking that the community are surprised by this, then the answer, of course, is no. They're not surprised. Because what we've seen in this report is what the community knew already all along, is that anti-Semitism here back in London, here at home, has reached a level which it's an unprecedented levels that we've never seen before. And therefore, the impact this has on the community is very depressing.
I mean, Samuel, in all of this, what we need to look at is why it's happening. Because if you're going to tackle a problem, you need to understand why it's happening. And there is an accusation that the pro-Palestinian... And it's not that we can have peaceful protests. People can say what they want pretty much in this country. But we have seen, haven't we, in some of these pro-Palestinian protests, things which are clearly anti-Semitic. And you wonder, is that green-lighting people to take it too far?
I think it cheapens the debate to say that it's the marches for Gaza that have contributed significantly to anti-Semitism in this country. I think we need to look at this as a wider piece, and the fact that all forms of hate crime in this country are on the rise, from religious hate crime to identity hate crime. We've seen in the last couple of years alone, we've seen the overall number rise between 4 to 6% in some estimates. We've seen hate crime in this country rise at a worrying level. And what we need to actually look at, rather than pointing the fingers at a specific thing such as the marches, is look at the wider picture. Look at figures in the media who are able to create division and point those fingers. And sort of, again, as I said, cheapen the debate. If we're going to just be looking at the marches and ignoring the fact that racism as a whole and hate crime as a whole is on the increase, then we're never going to get to the end of that and solve those issues.
So do you think, just quickly, Sam, do you think that the marches have nothing to do with it at all?
No, I don't. I think what I personally think is that it's the conflation of criticism of the Israeli government and Britain's role in Gaza as an attack on the Jewish people as a whole is something that is incredibly dangerous and does no services to the safety of Jewish people in this country.
OK, Levi, we have people on these marches proudly shouting from the river to the sea. I mean, how important are these marches for this rise?
No, absolutely. If I can politely disagree with you, because the vast majority of reported anti-Semitic attacks targeted on Jewish people, unfortunately, took place during those marches, right? And this is facts, this is statistics. So to say that these marches have no connection to anti-Semitism is factually wrong, right? And then obviously, as you said, the kind of rhetoric you see coming out, the hateful speeches that come out at these marches, call for attacks on Jewish people, and this happens during those marches. So clearly there is an issue there, and you can't look away and ignore it and say that's not a problem. That is the problem right now, that those marches have been allowed for far too long. I agree, there are anti-Semitism in other parts of the country as well, but clearly those marches are a big problem, and to say that that's not the main issue is trying to undermine the issue of anti-Semitism.
With respect to that, I think that what we're looking at is the chanting, if it was just said there, from the river to the sea. To say that is inherently racist, I don't agree with that at all.
It's been declared anti-Semitic in many European countries.
Right, and if we look at that, what also we've seen in those countries, as we have in this country, is suppression of a government role in the atrocities that we've seen unfolding in Gaza. In this country, we have old women holding placards arrested saying that they support Palestine action. That is being treated as terrorism in this country. So the debate has become so far and away from actually tackling the root causes of racism in this country.
Well, all right. And root causes do need to be looked at. But in terms of, I mean, words actually do matter. And something like from the river to the sea, actually is calling for the destruction of Israel.
That's heavily disputed.
Is it?
It's calling for a free Palestine away from the illegal occupation, which we're seeing in Gaza and the West Bank. That is simply what it's calling for, an end to those atrocities. It's not calling for the destruction of the Jewish people. It is calling for social justice and peace in the Middle East.
I would argue then, is it a fair point to say these people, compared to what Israelis would say and Jewish people would say, they don't know what they're saying then? They don't know what they're chanting about? Is that
They clearly don't know what they're chanting about. They think a lot of it is fashionable as well, because they think it's cool to go out there, join the marches. But let's differentiate for a moment Israel and anti-Semitism. Jewish people here at home, here in London, right? The fact is that Jewish people here in the UK have been a target for far too long. And this report identifies and clearly, so comprehensively puts together the evidence that Jewish people in the UK have faced anti-Semitism more than any other of the J7 countries, right? A lot of these anti-Semitic attacks fuel and come from those marches. And again, that has been factually, statistically put together, and the reports have been made to the police. So this is not, to say that these marches are just there, just as for Palestine, that's all fine, right? You want to go protest and support Palestine, you can do that in a meaningful way, in a way that doesn't break the law, in a way that doesn't hurt Jewish people. But unfortunately, the vast so much on those marches have happened targeted on Jewish people.
Is that part of the issue here, Samuel? Is this conflation, isn't it, between Israel as a state, Israel as the Israeli government, what they are doing politically? I mean, you can argue against that all you like. But it's where it does conflate into an attack on and a hatred of people who are Jewish, and in this case, British Jews, who have nothing to do with Israel as a country.
But look, if we're say criticising Vladimir Putin and the Russian government, are we attacking Russia and all Russian people? No, that's not a conversation. But it comes to the point when the UK government's
they're not
role
being attacked in the country, are they? Russian people aren't being attacked.
No, but I'm talking about criticism and valid and necessary criticism of a government and its actions home and abroad. When we have this conversation about Israel, that's when people are accused of being anti-Semitic, and it's frankly it's a suppression and a stifling of a necessary debate when we're talking about human rights and atrocities around the world and how we can bring them to an end.
Final thought, Levi, on that.
No, I understand that there is a debate about that, right? It's a question. The fact is, we're looking on the widespread anti-Semitism here in the UK, which a lot of it stemmed from those marches and from other parts, different pockets in the country. And again, it's a silent but agitating minority who cause all those problems and are putting Jewish lives at risk. And that is a reality.
It is a very sensitive issue, actually, and thank you both for doing it, debating it in such a respectful way. I think that's really important, actually. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And please do get in touch with your own thoughts. Many of you are, and many Jewish viewers are saying, I do feel threatened by these marches. So that is, your own personal experience, and we can't argue with that, OK? No. So thank you so much for that, gentlemen. OK, let's move on, and we go to the traffic and travel update. And stay with us on digital radio if you're out and about.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The A1M between junctions 3 and 4 is closed. The A12 northbound is closed between junctions 19 and 21. The A11 is closed after the A134. The M40 is closed between junctions 12 and 11 near Banbury. The M27 eastbound has a lane closed between junctions 9 and 10 near Whiteley. In Scotland, the M8 is restricted in both directions between junctions 16 and 18 near Craighall due to bridge repairs, causing delays. And on the trains, ScotRail is experiencing major disruption between Glasgow Queen Street and Edinburgh via Airdrie. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
What I thought.
Right, still to come. Aidan's got the sport. Morning.
Yeah, good morning again. Yeah, if losing the World Cup wasn't bad enough, Argentina could find themselves in the dock with FIFA for some of their conduct at the tournament. Find out why after the break.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Bold. They are under no illusion. Ray. Are you a human trafficker? Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get us on a BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines. The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it? From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos. What I'm going to do now, they are throwing things out the car as we speak. Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie's tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, though.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Welcome to Free Speech Nation with me, Josh Howard. This is the show where each week we see what's happening in the world of culture, current affairs and politics.
First we'll say, welcome to the UK. Oh, thank you.
And we're not afraid to use our free speech so that you can use yours.
It's not controversial in the slightest to anyone who hasn't lost their mind.
Free Speech Nation, Sunday nights at 7 p.m, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
As soon as it hits 11 and the headlines come in,
The Late Edition brings you the breaking news from all the front pages.
because the news is going to happen.
So get a head start today.
Patrick Christie's tonight, late edition.
Alex Armstrong tonight, Late Edition. From 11 o'clock every night.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
Because
the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back,
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
and we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Right, Aidan's got the sport. Morning.
Good morning again.
Should we kick off and have a go at Argentina?
Well, if you want to, I mean,
yes, please.
Okay. Well, it's FIFA this time who are opening proceedings because of their display of a political banner. What FIFA say may be in breach of one of the articles in their rule book. It seems pretty obvious to me looking at the pictures. Las Malvinas on Argentina. Which translates as the Falklands belongs to Argentina. The players there celebrating in front of their own fans after beating England in the semi-final the Wednesday before last. Now, as I say, it looks like an open and shut case. I think it'll probably be a fine. I don't think you're going to see them kicked out of the World Cup. However, their FA may be in more serious trouble for what happened after the Spain game in the final. I mean, you saw it, Dawn, didn't you? I mean, they were wrestling Spain players. They showed real ungentlemanly, unsportsmanlike conduct. And quite frankly, they were shameful throughout the tournament, I would argue. There have been lots of conjecture around whether FIFA favour Argentina with Messi, the golden boy, or his links to Qatar, his links to America. Obviously, he's part of the Miami MLS franchise with David Beckham. I don't attach too much credence to that, but because of it, FIFA are probably going to be under pressure to make a statement and hand down a sanction which is worthy of the name sanction, but it'll be fines.
What can they do, Aidan?
Well, they've had it for racial offences down the years. They've handed out £6,000 fines to FAs.
£6,000?
They probably had it on them, had the money on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Just a quick line on the Commonwealth Games. It hasn't been covered that much just since it started, just because it's heavily scaled back. Lots of athletes have pulled out. It's been affected by the weather. But I thought this was an interesting line. The Ugandan boxer Aziz Abdul, the grandson of the dictator Idi Amin. Wow. I mean, he'd have been disappointed to see a referee in the ring, wouldn't he? Because he probably thought he'd dictate his own terms of the fight. But there you go.
Idi Amin, I mean...
I know. He's 25 years old. So he's the grandson of the dictator, the former dictator. He was punished after lifting his head into Damar Thomas's chin as the pair grappled in the third round. So he was disqualified, didn't get a medal, and given his family history, someone says deserved. No, we can't say that, can we?
Oh, no, you've got to be...
No, we can't. And a feel-good story if we've got time.
Yes, please, go on.
Neil Cox moved from Scunthorpe to Aston Villa for £400,000 in 1991, plus 2,000 seats. Scunthorpe and Aston Villa play in the same colours. They never actually called in the clause because they didn't need it, but now they're doing up their ground. Aston Villa are also doing up at Villa Park. And so an employee of the club, a player liaison officer, Julie Taylor, rang Aston Villa and said, look, we've got a clause in a contract from selling you a player in 1991. Is there any chance we can call in those 2,000 seats? And wonderfully, Aston Villa said, yes, you can have those seats. Just bring your van over. And I think we've got some pictures of it here as well. Bring your van over, stack it up with seats and make your way back to Glanford Park, which I reckon is probably about 130 miles, Birmingham to Scunthorpe. No, maybe less, probably 100 miles. No, what do you think?
That's lovely. That's what football should be about.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Not Argentina's games.
If that had been my dad, the way we used to pack for our holidays, I reckon he would have tried to get a few more seats in the back of the
probably, yeah. Definitely a bit of room in there.
Were your parents like that? Stuff in the car?
Oh, God, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, you got more room in there? Fit a couple of kids in there?
All right, Aidan, thank you very much indeed.
OK, and much more. We've got Will Kingston and Norman Baker coming up with the newspaper review. Give us a wave, boys. There you go. But that was after the forecast for some of the top European holiday destinations.
I hope we haven't forgotten anything.
Travel insurance, I tick that box.
Yeah, but remember what you forgot last year.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Things remain very hot across Italy and parts of southern Spain. 1 or 2 showers in northern Spain and across the south of France. Plenty of sunshine for Greece and Turkey. Hot in Croatia as well as Italy. 40 degrees in Rome. 1 or 2 showers possible in southern France. More likely to see thunderstorms over more central parts of France. The odd shower over northern Spain too, but most of Spain and Portugal dry and sunny. Pretty hot in the Canaries as well. Plenty more sunshine throughout the weekend also.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Nana Queer, weekends from 3 p.m.
This is really exciting. We've got 1 million people living with dementia in this country, and about 65%, 70% of them have Alzheimer's disease. This is a condition where a protein called amyloid beta builds up in plaques within the brain and interferes with the connection of nerve cells. It's a cruel disease, as I know you're aware. It robs families of the relative that they once loved, the personality that they knew, and it's the leading cause of death in this country. So, numbers are only increasing as the ageing population grows. But here we have in phase 3 clinical trials, which is the last stage of trials before a regulatory body approves it for use, which appears to clear some of these plaques within a few weeks. Now, that's really exciting.
GB News, the People's Channel. Britain's Newsroom, weekday mornings from 9:30.
What does this kind of day mean to you, kind of coming and doing this every year?
Well, I feel that I'm doing this for my wife because she used to sell poppies properly, really, and I used to help her for 20 odd years. And I feel like I'm doing it for her, really. But it is nice to think that everybody appreciate what we did for being in the forces.
But tell me about your service, because you got sent out to the Far East, didn't you?
Yes. I just got engaged because I didn't think I was going to get called up, but then I did.
In your jacket here, you've got 1 medal for national service and 1 for that Hong Kong medal for that.
To be honest, I was 18 years old. And I was very excited about going. It was an adventure to me.
The People's Channel. Britain's Newsroom. Weekday mornings from 9:30.
Weight loss jabs could help children as young as 6 who are living with obesity. When did we start saying living with obesity? Can we not say obese children? Is that not politically correct? Well, delighted to be joined now by Sarah LeBrock, Director of All About Obesity. Sarah, I think a lot of people will feel slightly uneasy about children getting on these jabs, simply because we sort of expect, I don't know, diets to be managed by parents.
Yeah, I can totally understand why people would think that. But the point we're not talking about just overweight children here. We're talking about children living with obesity. And interestingly, you say, why do we say living with obesity? It's because they're living with a chronic condition.
GB News, the People's Channel.
8:47 and we're going through the papers with Will Kingston and Norman Baker. Morning, gents.
Morning.
Let's start with David Miliband in the Mail, who apparently Andy Burnham wanted in the cabinet as education secretary.
Yeah, there's this. Maybe I'm underestimating the bloke, but there is this naivety to Burnham, which some people may find endearing. I find it a bit irritating. This is the bloke who a few weeks ago said, well, factionalism has bedeviled the Labor Party. We're going to move beyond it, as if he's such a good bloke that a flutter of the eyelashes will mean that the rules of politics no longer apply to him. And yet what he's done as a result is he's tried to re-enliven one of the great political feuds of modern times by putting Ed Miliband in one of the great offices of state as Foreign Secretary, which Ed Miliband would have been better suited to, and then offering Ed Miliband a more junior role as Education Secretary, and also annoying Bridget Phillipson in the process, demoting her to Equalities Minister. Now, again, it's all a bit of a mess, but I would just suggest that if Andy Burnham thinks that he can just be such a nice guy and they can sing along to Oasis and eat chips and gravy and everyone's going to be happy, I think he's got another thing coming. There is going to be political reality which is going to hit him in the face pretty soon.
What do you reckon, Norman?
Well, I mean, yes, there is political reality. There's always political reality to hit politicians. I mean, give the guy a break. He's been there about 2 weeks, 2 weeks even, or even less than 2 weeks. We'll judge him, 3 months in, 6 months in. But
sure.
I think he's made quite a good start. I'm not a Labour member, but I think he's made quite a good start.
Do you believe any of this, though?
Well, I mean, it may be true. But what I would say... If it is true, then David Miliband's been screwed twice, because he ended up being bumped off the Labour leadership by Ed Miliband, his brother. Now he's been bumped off the Foreign Secretary because Ed had to take that because he couldn't get the chancellorship. So that's what's happened here, if it's true.
Yeah.
Why would you take Education Secretary, really? I think that is just a real slap in the face.
What's to know about it, actually?
But this is the question you have with any of these jobs. Is like, are you aware of the brief? I mean, do you know anything about this subject whatsoever? If the answer is no, have the job.
A lot of MPs are appointed to cabinet don't know the subject that they're going to be given. If you look at someone like transport, which I know very well, the number of people who actually wanted to do transport are minuscule. I wanted to do transport. So did Andrew Adonis for the Labour Party. Most people who are in transport are either on the way up or the way down, and that's why they're there as a staging post.
Norman, I've got a question on this, though. How important is it that you actually have expertise in the portfolio that you end up being given? I would have thought defence, for example, which Wes Streeting now has, you need to have a basic understanding of the armed forces to actually go in and then have the conversations with top brass to be able to have that gravitas.
It helps to have a grounding. If you go with no ideas at all, then the civil service will run the department for you, at least in the initial stages. It can work. I mean, I remember when the Labour government back in 2005, 2010, they made, I've forgotten who it was, but Nick somebody who was the MP for Newcastle, in the middle of Newcastle, was made the Agriculture Minister. We thought, what on earth are you doing in the middle of Newcastle running farming? He was actually one of the best Labour ministers there was.
Gordon Brown had no economic background, did he, before he went?
No, not really.
No. So
yeah, maybe he wouldn't have sold our gold off on the cheap if he had some economics experience.
So he did sell the gold, but he was considered a prudent and pretty strong.
Prudent was his word. He used great language, Gordon Brown. Locking and stability was one of his phrases. It meant nothing, but it sounded really good.
Norman, what's the story in The Guardian about?
This is the ministers on the police one you were talking about. This is a shocking situation, I think, where our police forces have been handing over American military people who have, on the face of it, been committing serious crimes, handing them over to the US to deal with, and particularly when it comes to sexual crimes. And you've got situations where there was a British woman, she's gone public about this, Sarah Steele, who was allegedly raped by an American service person, and instead of being dealt with by the British courts, as I think should have happened, it was handed over to the US military courts. Well, there was then 12 all-male panels of Air Force officers who failed to look at the matter properly. That's not good enough. If someone commits a crime in this country, in my view, they should be tried in the British courts.
Quite, absolutely.
Yeah, well, a lot of people would agree with you on that, I have to say. All right, let's have a look at something which is a little bit lighter. It's in the sun, Will, and it's our lighter lager.
I was about to say, pun intended, Stephen, and that is that brewers have been cutting the alcohol content of several beers. And this is a result of, again, warped incentives or deterrents with Rishi Sunak's government changing the tax rules in 2023, which basically meant that higher alcoholic content beers will be taxed more. So again, change the incentive, change the outcome, and as a result of that, you have a lot of brewers, including Molson Coors, that have basically said we're going to drop it down from 4 to 4.5% into the 3 to 3.5% range. It's a sad result. Taxes ruin everything, Stephen. Is the bottom line, including our beers.
Yeah, and they don't lower the price at the same time, though, do they?
That's exactly right.
That's the problem.
But apparently, testing shows, because this affects carling, that consumers prefer the lower strength version.
Isn't that a sad indictment on the country today?
I'm with the Australian on this one.
All right, you two. Thanks very much indeed.
For now. OK, it is time for the Great British Giveaway and your chance to win that £60,000 in tax-free cash and that gold bar worth £5,000. Here's all the details for you.
We're celebrating a golden summer with a terrific two-part Great British Giveaway. First, you could win a sensational £60,000 in tax-free cash to spend however you like this year. What would you do with that? And that's not all, as you'll also win our most precious prize to date, a fine gold bar worth over £5,000. It's pure gold to own, trade or gift to a loved one and secure their financial future. So make sure you don't miss your chance to bank over £65,000 worth of prizes in our golden summer celebration. For a chance to win £60,000 in tax-free cash and a real gold bar, text GOLD to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entry starts at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge, or post your name and number to GB22 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrants must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 21st of August. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pooled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Morning, welcome to your latest weather update from the Met Office. Here on GB News. A cooler feel for many today. Still pretty warm across the southeast in the sunny spells. Fresh breeze and a fair few showers coming in across Scotland. Some showers also for Northern Ireland, especially across the northern half, and the odd shower for Northern England too. Quite a bit more cloud compared to yesterday across the Midlands, southwest England, South Wales. 1 or 2 light showers just drifting through, but nothing really useful for gardeners. And a bit more of that cloud just spilling into the southeast through the day, so it won't be as sunny here, won't be as hot either, but still quite warm at 28 Celsius. Cooler conditions further north, and certainly feeling pretty chilly with the rain across northern Scotland, which will actually be quite heavy at times here for Orkney, Caithness, Sutherland down into Aberdeenshire. Quite a wet afternoon. Elsewhere, the showers will move through across central and southern Scotland with a fairly brisk breeze, and there'll be some bright spells, particularly across the borders. Some sunny spells too for Northern Ireland. Just a few showers, mostly across the north, and some of those will feed into Cumbria as well. But much of England and Wales looking dry and sunny this afternoon, but a much cloudier afternoon, certainly compared to recent days across the southeast and East Anglia. Again, a little bit of light rain, but nothing for the gardeners that's of any use. And that'll tend to clear away slowly overnight. We'll keep some showers coming into the north and the west. A much fresher night, much cooler night, much more comfortable night. Temperatures across northern parts down into single figures, well down in some rural spots. So a much cooler, fresher start to Friday. Another fine and sunny day by and large. Could start quite cloudy across Kent in particular. The clouds should break up here. There'll be some showers coming in across northwest England, again the north of Northern Ireland and western Scotland. But elsewhere, most places dry, plenty of sunshine across the south. But instead of temperatures in the mid-30s, temperatures more likely to be back in the mid-20s. So it is turning cooler.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Thank you, Britain, for the thousands of you who are becoming friends of GB News each and every week.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. There is a collision on the M40 southbound between junctions 12 and 11 near Banbury, causing slow traffic. The A1M between junctions 3 and 4 is closed. The A12 northbound is closed between junctions 19 and 21. The M25 anti-clockwise between junctions 16 and 15 near Poyle is also closed. In Scotland, the A82 is restricted in both directions at Lochend, south of Inverness, following a collision. And on the trains, ScotRail is experiencing major disruption between Glasgow Queen Street and Edinburgh via Airdrie. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
We're celebrating a golden summer with a terrific two-part Great British giveaway. First, you could win a sensational £60,000 in tax-free cash. And that's not all, as you'll also win our most precious prize to date, a fine gold bar worth over £5,000. For a chance to win, text GOLD to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entry start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB22 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 21st of August. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pulled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain is not just a geographical expression. We are a people bound together by history and culture that are distinctively British. Join me to celebrate our music, theatre, artworks and literature, which we can explore and enjoy together.
Everybody's welcome.
Sunday with Michael Costello. Every Sunday at 11 a.m. on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Good morning. President Trump delivers a stark warning to the Prime Minister over illegal migration.
Yes, Donald Trump tells the GB News the crisis is killing Britain and claims Europe is facing an invasion.
He's going to have to mention it because it's killing your country. And they're invading Europe. I mean, they're invading Europe. It's an invasion. And the UK is a prime suspect.
I was in the Oval Office for GB News, and while our own Prime Minister avoids media scrutiny, President Trump was very clear. Andy Burnham needs to talk about migration.
But as Britain continues to pay millions to France to try to stop the crossings, why is this happening?
Our order is to let them go like that.
Your order is to let them go?
We just have to say to them, don't do that, it's dangerous.
Yes, the Shadow Home Secretary has been on the border speaking to French police, and from the looks of it, they're not particularly interested in stopping migrants coming to Britain. What does that mean for Burnham? Find out more with me very soon.
Also this morning, we're going to get an announcement today of £8.4 billion invested in our nuclear submarine programme. Is defence spending the key to rebuilding Britain's economy? The Conservatives' Tom Tugendhat talked to us earlier.
We need to be making really serious decisions on defence today. I'm really glad that Wes Streeting has repeated the commitment. I'd rather hope that John Healey might have thought about this a little bit before, given that he was the Defence Secretary up until about 10 minutes ago.
Ladies and gentlemen, George Michael!
He's the biggest pop star in the world.
And careless whispers, George Michael's estate is suing his former best friend for releasing never-before-seen footage from a lost album.
A different feel out there today. Still very warm in the sunshine across the southeast, but not as hot as it was yesterday. Overall, a cloudier day, and yes, there will be some rain around. Will you see any? Well, join me later for a full forecast.
It's just gone 9 o'clock. I'm Stephen Dixon.
And I'm Dawn Neeson, and this is GB News Breakfast.
Just that little clip of George Michael that we've been playing reminds you of how good he was.
Huge talent. I mean, it really was. I mean, and this is a very intriguing story, though.
It is.
And it's...
I always feel really sad about George Michael, though, because he was... And I saw him perform live once. He was massively talented. And obviously he had a bit of a self-destruct button that he kept pressing.
Really did. So tragic.
It's a real shame.
Yeah. You do wonder what would have happened, where he would be now if he's still around. I mean, he would have had that longevity because he was just so talented. He did so much and was pretty cute as well, it has to be said.
And actually, he had a very big, generous side.
Yes.
It turns out the amount he donated to charity and things, all the stuff that kept under wraps at the time.
Yes.
Just,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a real shame that he's gone.
But it is an intriguing story, so you don't want to miss it. That's coming up very soon indeed.
Right. Donald Trump has issued a blunt warning to the Prime Minister. Confront the migrant crisis or watch it continue to kill the country.
Yeah, his words. Speaking to GB News in the Oval Office, the President described the surge into Europe as an invasion.
It's fairly evocative language. His message to the Prime Minister was pretty clear. He cannot afford to stay silent.
You've had a couple of weeks to get to know our new Prime Minister. Have you spoken to him much? And do you think he is the man to lead us to excellency?
Well, he did say one very good thing. He said he's going to open up North Sea oil. If he does that, you're going to be a wealthy country. If he does it reasonably. They have two problems. They have a huge immigration problem, people coming from all over the world and just camping out in your country. He's going to have to mention it because it's killing your country. And they're coming from all over the world. They're coming from Africa. They're coming from South America. They're coming from different parts of Asia. And they're invading Europe. I mean, they're invading Europe. It's an invasion. And the UK is a prime suspect.
Yes, those comments also follow over 700. Some estimates, though, the front page of The Sun say 1,000 migrants arriving on British shores yesterday. And this revelation from the Shadow Home Secretary, Chris Phil.
Our order is to let them go like that.
Your order is to let them go?
We just have to say to them, don't do that, it's dangerous.
Well, let's head to Westminster and our political correspondent, Olivia Utley. I mean, the problem with what we're seeing from that video from Chris Philp, Olivia, is that this deal with France is a key part of our strategy at the moment, and it just doesn't seem to be working. They don't seem to be doing what we're paying them for.
Well, exactly. This deal is worth over £500 million. It was a breakthrough from Shabana Mahmood, the Home Secretary, a few months ago. Rishi Sunak had a similar deal with France to essentially patrol their own borders to stop migrants coming over to Britain or to bring them back to France if they start to make the dangerous journey across the Channel. That deal came to an end about 6 months ago, and then it was very difficult for the UK and France to hash out any sort of replacement deal deal, and that's because the relationship between the two countries over this issue has been deteriorating rapidly after the last 5 years or so. Then there was this breakthrough deal agreed by Shabana Mahmood. It was hoped that it would bring down the numbers of small boats coming over to the UK, and at first it did look as though it was working. Even our own stalwart Mark White was saying that yes, it did seem as though the numbers of small boats were going down, and also it was becoming more difficult for migrants to cross the Channel. They were having to cross from Belgium rather than the much easier and simpler crossing from France. Now though, it looks as though there's a bit of a different story going on. In fact, it seems perhaps as though those numbers going down were just simply a result of a slightly less choppy spring in the Channel than usual. Difficult conditions for migrants to come over here. The numbers are now going up again, 700, over 700 yesterday alone, and it could be by the end of this year we could see numbers similar to the peaks of the last few years. That puts Andy Burnham in a very, very difficult situation. Immigration, especially illegal immigration, is something that he doesn't want to talk about, partly because it is a very difficult problem for any Prime Minister to address. The Rwanda scheme went south at the last moment, with migrants being taken off the tarmac literally at the 11th hour. He doesn't really have, as far as we can see, any further plan on what Keir Starmer planned to stop illegal migration. And there are still those on the Labour benches who don't believe that this is a big issue for the Prime Minister, don't believe that open borders is that much of a problem. So this is a really tough one for Andy Burnham. He has kept Shabana Mahmood as his Home Secretary. I think that'll come as quite a relief to those in Labour who do want to see this problem addressed. But as we know, when the Home Secretaries come up with the problem of small boats in particular, there are so many hurdles for them to cross. Their own backbenchers, as I've mentioned, the House of Lords, when they try and get any legislation through, and then you've got the courts and the human rights lawyers who are working for the illegal migrants. It is an intractable problem, and any idea that we had, any sense we had that it was beginning to be solved, that Keir Starmer's reforms were starting to work, seemed to be ebbing away.
Interesting times. Political correspondent Olivia Utley. Olivia, thank you so much for that. OK, a Home Office spokesperson has said, "We are aware of posts circulating online that claim French law enforcement are failing to prevent small boat channel crossings. UK-French cooperation has already stopped over 46,000 attempted crossings since the election in May alone. 65% of all small boat events were stopped, despite soaring temperatures, which have historically led to increased crossings."
Right, we've got more to come for you in just a moment as the Prime Minister prepares to unveil a major defence spending boost. Is it going to make us safer? Fingers crossed. We'll be heading to Barrow-in-Furness and the Defence Secretary, Wes Streeting, shortly.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pearce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
Here at GB News, we made a promise to tell your stories.
And on the 6th of August, we're marking 5 years of doing exactly that.
Celebrate with us by having your say. Join in the debates live on TV and radio.
And meeting your favourite presenters across the country, from Leeds to Aberdeen, from Belfast to Barry Island.
Plus, join me in Essex for our biggest live show of the year. Scan the QR code or visit gbnews.com/celebrate. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
Because
the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. weekdays, here only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Welcome to Free Speech Nation with me, Josh Howard. This is the show where each week we see what's happening in the world of culture, current affairs and politics.
First we'll say, welcome to the UK. Oh, thank you.
And we're not afraid to use our free speech so that you can use yours.
It's not controversial in the slightest to anyone who hasn't lost their mind.
Free Speech Nation, Sunday nights at 7 p.m. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Some people enjoy lazy Sunday mornings, but not me.
What's the truth of the matter?
So that's a very live question.
Would you support him if he waters down these plans?
Before the spin sets in, I'll be getting to the truth.
This is personal.
No soft questions, no easy answers.
It's one thing if the state has rules in this country. It's another thing whether the police and others actually police them.
Setting the agenda and holding those in power to account.
You can't really blame her if the system is set up this way. You will not want to miss it, trust me.
The Camilla Tominey Show, Sundays from 9:30, only on GB News.
Giveaway, should we?
Yeah, shall we?
It's a cracker at £60,000 in tax-free cash and a solid gold bar. Here's how you take part.
We're celebrating a golden summer with a terrific two-part Great British giveaway. First, you could win a sensational £60,000 in tax-free cash to spend however you like this year. What would you do with that? And that's not all, as you'll also win our most precious prize to date, a fine gold bar worth over £5,000. It's pure gold to own, trade or gift to a loved one and secure their financial future. So make sure you don't miss your chance to bank over £65,000 worth of prizes in our Golden Summer celebration. For a chance to win £60,000 in tax-free cash and a real gold bar, text GOLD to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entry starts at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge, or post your name and number to GB22 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrants must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 21st of August. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pooled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. Now, I'm quite excited about this because it's not often I get to head to talk to someone in my hometown of Barrow-in-Furness, but we can go there now and talk to the Defence Secretary, Wes Streeting. Good to see you, Wes, and I hope you're enjoying the hospitality of the good people of Barrow. We're talking Dreadnought, the new class of nuclear submarine being built at BAE Systems there. And you're talking about £8.4 billion of investment to get these sea trials going. Where's this money coming from? Is this new money, or is this re-announcing investment that was already there?
Well, good morning. Well, this is already fully funded. So at the spending review, and since through the extra investment won by my predecessor, Dan Jarvis, we've got the programme fully funded, and that's why the Prime Minister and I are here today to announce that new contract, and both the capability it will create through the renewal of our nuclear deterrence, but also the jobs, the opportunities that it will provide. As you don't need me to tell you, this is your hometown, but defence is in the blood here in Barrow-in-Furness, and that speaks both to its great defence industrial history, but it also speaks to the future too, because the apprentices the Prime Minister and I will meet today are able to say proudly and confidently that they are at the forefront of some of the most advanced engineering taking place anywhere in the world. They are building that new generation of nuclear submarines, the bedrock upon which Britain's defence and security sits. And one of the things that the Prime Minister and I are both genuinely excited about is that as we are renewing that nuclear deterrent, as we are rebuilding Britain's defence capability, we're also reindustrialising Britain. and providing new opportunities, because as well as the 13,500 jobs here in Barrow that are supported by this programme, when you look right across our investment in the Defence Nuclear Programme, there are thousands of jobs right across the country, including in the supply chain, and 22,000 apprenticeships in the run-up to 2035. And at a time when youth unemployment is far too high, it's great that we're able to play our part as defence, both in terms of keeping our country safe, but also building a country that's worth fighting for in terms of jobs, opportunities and security for people in their own lives, jobs, prospects and opportunities.
Wes, it all sounds wonderful and the numbers involved sound wonderful, but you say it's fully funded. I'm sorry to keep coming back to this. It's fully funded, but is that money that was existing funding, or is it coming from somewhere now? It's fully funded, but from where?
Well, both at the spending review and with the additional investment that was secured by my predecessor, Dan Jarvis, we are spending more on defence. That will continue to be the case. But what we do at spending reviews is set out for the next few years, usually in a spending review, how much we're investing and how we're raising the money. And now it's our job to get that money out of the door. And that's exactly what we're doing. There is a debate, of course, about the medium to long-term defence investment required. The Prime Minister, the Chancellor and I will be working together on that. And you'll remember what John Healey said as he left the last government over the issue of defence spendings, where that's very much in mind. But I just want to emphasise that we've also got a great opportunity in front of us right now and a lot to go at in terms of the new investment that we have available and the capability we can buy. So as well as the big announcement today in terms of our nuclear deterrent, last week we announced £700 million of investment in a new generation of combat fighter aircraft, £400 million in spy drones. And those two programmes are creating jobs not just here in the northwest of England, but in Wales, in the southwest of England. So defence has got a lot to offer the Prime Minister's agenda around reindustrialisation and opportunities for the next generation.
In terms of those longer term strategies, and I mean, whether you can confirm it or not, but there's like talk of 3.5% of GDP by 2035. I mean, those sort of figures. When are we going to get decisions and announcements on this? Because really, you should be pushing against an open door with John Healey, shouldn't you, to get more money?
We are, but we're not complacent about two things. One is, I've got to demonstrate, before I ask for even more money from John Healey as Chancellor, the money that we're already spending is being well spent. And one of the reasons the Prime Minister's asked me to undertake this role in responsibility is when I was the Health Secretary, this is the approach I took there. So we had new money for health, which is delivering improved performance and falling waiting lists. But at the same time, I was also going after the NHS's classic problems of overspending. We balanced the books for the first time in a decade. Some of the productivity challenges, which can sound quite abstract in a conversation like this, but that's about making sure the money that goes in gets maximum bang for the buck. So I'm doing a similar approach here at the Ministry of Defence, tackling some of the historic challenges around procurement, value for money, doing what we say, when we say it, and making sure we keep to time. So getting to grips with all of those challenges. The second thing I'd say, because there's obviously, you're right, they've got that NATO commitment, 3.5% by 2035. There's been the debate, obviously, about 2030. The reason why in interviews today and in recent days, I and colleagues might sound like we're dancing on the head of the pin a bit about this, is before you set out a specific spending commitment, you also have to show how it will be paid for. And if you fail to do that, then our bond markets from whom we borrow to invest, they react. The cost of borrowing goes up. And so instead of investing in defence or in our public services or in helping people with the cost of living, you're instead throwing good money away on higher interest charges. So that's why you in recent days and today, and indeed up to the budget and the spending review, you're not going to be able to tempt me or my colleagues in the cabinet to make unfunded spending commitments. Because that's how you end up hiking up borrowing costs, and we don't need those sorts of avoidable mistakes.
Wes, talking of throwing money away, we have over, a period of time now, handed the French over, well, £1 billion to stop the boats. They're still coming. It's been described as an invasion by Donald Trump. He's right, isn't he? It is an invasion.
Well, I think the good news is that in terms of small boat crossings, which we absolutely agree is a big challenge, we've seen a 40% reduction in those crossings, and our work with the French has managed to stop 46,000 individual crossings. Now, if the Home Secretary were here this morning, she'd be the first to say that's a lot done, but there's a lot more to do and a lot more to go at, and that's why she'll continue to do that, as well as strengthening our laws to try and tackle some of the pull factors that encourage people to come to Britain and take those small boat crossings. That's at the heart of what her immigration reform is about, and she'll continue to do that. But those are encouraging numbers. And I think if I'd come on GB News a couple of years ago, maybe just before the general election, and said Labour would get small boat crossings down by 40%, that would be stopping tens of thousands of individual crossings, I think your viewers would have thought, they're saying that now, will they actually deliver? So this is encouraging progress, but I do want to put it in those terms, encouraging progress. There is more to do, and we obviously accept that, and we will do more to tackle this scourge.
It is a major issue for a lot of people in this country, and it's overarching, isn't it? It affects everything from our economy to our health system to schools and everything else, housing, you name it. Do you think the Prime Minister should be addressing this head on? He's not really mentioned it at all yet, and that's slightly concerning, isn't it?
But to be fair to the Prime Minister, give him time. He's been in for a week and a half now, and in that period, he has both hit the ground running very rapidly with a series of cost of living measures. And as he's done so, whether on energy bills or bus fares, he's been at pains to point out he knows there's more to do. It hasn't solved all the problems, but it does signal both intent and that he will go as fast as he can to help people with the cost of living. And then this week, with that big speech on social care yesterday, and some of the other big visions he set out this week. Today he'll be talking to us about defence and reindustrialisation and apprenticeships. He's showing that he runs towards big challenges facing the country, whether it's the 1 million young people out of education, employment or training, whether it's the failure of successive governments to really grip the crisis in social care, and indeed on border security. Look, I think, to be honest, the big signal from the Prime Minister on this was when he kept Shabana Mahmood in post as Home Secretary. Everyone knows Shabana now. She is a no-nonsense woman.
Yes.
She is absolutely determined to deal with this problem. She's got some good results under her belt already, and she's determined to get the job done.
Okay.
And I thought that was in itself a very important statement of intent from the Prime Minister. He could have made different choices and put someone else in there who maybe has sort of said, is Shabana being too tough?
Sorry to interrupt, we are running out of time.
Sorry
to interrupt, we are running out of time. This week, just quickly and briefly, we've had Iran boasting about how they're using those channel crossings to smuggle agents across the channel into this country to do us severe harm. Can you guarantee our viewers that there haven't been any terrorists coming across in those small boats?
So two things. Firstly, we do have strong measures in place to assess people coming into the country to guard against that threat. Secondly, while we're not complacent about that risk, I would also just guard against repeating Iranian propaganda. And they're good at what they do in terms of their propaganda effort. We see that online. They want to increase that fear. So I'm not going to repeat Iranian talking points. We do have strong measures at the border.
So you can't guarantee it, basically, can you?
We absolutely have strong, robust measures at the border to guard against that threat. And let me say, in terms of first impressions in this job, in my first week and a half in this role as Defence Secretary, I've had a unique insight into the capability that we have, both in terms of our domestic and international security services. They are second to none.
But Wes, you can't guarantee that terrorists aren't crossing the channel, can you?
We have strong, as I say, we've got strong border measures, but we also have strong domestic homeland security services, and we have the SIS too. And we honestly, I wish I could show the public more of what we have in terms of our security and intelligence services. They are genuinely the best in the business. They keep our country safe 24/7, 365 days a year, and their success often goes uncelebrated, unreported because of the secret nature of their work.
Of course, Wes. We just take that as a no, you can't guarantee it then.
You can have total confidence that they are tasked in the right way to guard against threats from Iran and other malevolent countries that would do us harm, as well as domestic terrorism.
OK, thank you, Wes Streeting. That's Defence Secretary Wes Streeting for you.
Good to see you this morning.
Thank you, Wes.
Right, that's it from us. But coming up, it's Britain's Newsroom with Miriam and Charlie. Morning.
Good morning. Well, it's interesting to hear the Defence Secretary there talking about immigration, talking about Shabana Mahmood and her supposed strength on dealing with our borders. I have an exclusive investigation out today on Britain's so-called visa street, about how generous we've been with skilled worker visas. And I have to say, it does cause and raise a lot of questions for the government at the moment.
Indeed. Well, you don't want to miss that. We've got lots coming up on Britain's Newsroom. But first of all, your weather.
Thank you, Britain, for making GB News Radio such a huge success. Whether you're in the car, on the go, or listening at home, thank you for choosing us as your radio station.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The M40 southbound between junctions 12 and 11 in Banbury is slow following a collision. The A12 northbound is closed between junctions 19 and 21. The M25 anti-clockwise is closed between junctions 16 and 15 in Poyle. The A417 is closed after the A429. North of the border, the A82 is closed in both directions at Lock End south of Inverness due to an earlier incident, with possible delays. And on the trains, ScotRail is facing major disruption between Glasgow Queen Street and Edinburgh via Airdrie. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Bold.
They are under no illusion.
Ray, are you a human trafficker? Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get us on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it?
From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
What I'm going to do now is they are throwing things out the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Some people enjoy lazy Sunday mornings, but not me. What's the truth of the matter?
So that's a very live question.
Would you support him if he waters down these plans? Before the spin sets in, I'll be getting to the truth.
This is personal.
No soft questions, no easy answers.
It's one thing if the state has rules in this country. It's another thing whether the police and others actually police them.
Setting the agenda and holding those in power to account. You can't really blame her if the system is set up this way. You will not want to miss it, trust me. The Camilla Tominey Show, Sundays from 9:30, only on GB News.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Good morning, it's 9:30 on Thursday, the 30th of July. We are live across the United Kingdom. This is Britain's Newsroom with Charlie Peters and Miriam Cates.
And a GB News exclusive with skilled worker visas under the spotlight. I investigated and visited Britain's Visa Street, where the findings are bound to shock you.
We've also hired foreigners to work at a chicken shop on skilled worker visas. People might be wondering, is it skilled work working at a chicken shop?
I think the local people don't want to work in chicken shops.